Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the final days before the NFL draft and our final prospect episode of the 2026 draft season. I'm Marcus Dash. Former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn should be joining us shortly, as well as my brother Tasia Dash. And we have an action-packed show for you guys tonight. So I don't know if you guys saw this yet, but I'll put it up on the big screen here. We have an action-packed week. Obviously, it's draft week, so there's naturally going to be a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure a lot of other channels you guys watch have stuff going on, but stick with Chief Concerns. We got a lot going on for you. So this is the schedule for the week. I don't know why it's not appearing, but okay, there it is. Okay, so this is a schedule for the week. We got a banging schedule for you guys. So tonight, final prospect show. Wednesday night, we have our official mock draft show, and of course, we talk about mock drafts all the time. So at the completion of the mock draft show, we want everyone to send me on our Twitter account or Instagram, Chief Concerns, but Twitter account at Concerns Chief. Send me your mock draft. Either tag us, mention us in it, or DM me your mock draft, and I will post it on the show at the completion of our mock draft shows to show how everyone's thinking about this mock. So, yeah, send me your mock. So, anyway, tonight, prospect show. Wednesday, official mock draft show. And then Thursday at around 11 o'clock, midnight, whenever the draft is officially over, we will have our first round of reaction live stream right after the draft. And then Friday night, second and third round reactions, probably around 11, midnight. And then fourth, seventh round reaction, and that will be Saturday around 5 o'clock. And then while that goes, I mean, you guys have been with us for many, many years. You guys know how that goes. While we're talking about reacting to all the draft picks, there will also be UDFA market, some signings coming out as the show goes on. We'll talk about those as well. So, yeah, it's a pretty, like I said, it's an action-packed week, and it's going to be good as usual, as it usually is. But, yeah, so, again, Wednesday night, mock draft show. We'll have our one uniform Chief Concerns mock draft with Tasia, myself, and JD kind of talking about, I think we'll do either PFF or A to Z Sports' mock draft simulator. We'll have that. We'll see who's available. We'll discuss why this guy over that guy. And then we'll go into all the rounds, and then we'll go at the end. And then you guys send me your mock drafts on Twitter or send it to me via Instagram, and I will post them on the show at the completion of the episode. So please, let's get that going Wednesday night. Yeah, should be a good one, guys. I'm really excited about tonight's episode. I have these prospects I'm talking about tonight that I'm really big fan of. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. It's also too, man. I'm not done with the I like the prospect show. I've learned a lot, like hearing Tasia and JD talk about guys I maybe not like talked about, and just reading them out. I mean, reading out these guys, metrics and stuff, and I think it's great. I've learned a lot. I hope you guys have. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Last year was our first year really hammering home the prospects. We've been doing it off and on for the last 2 years, but last year's the first year we kind of honed in on it and continued that this year. Last year, every guy we talked about on the show was drafted by the Chiefs or picked up by the Chiefs in the UDFA market. We're hoping to go 2 for 2 years in a row with the guys we talked about. Because, again, we may talk about a lot of guys, but if you think about the grand scheme of things, by the time we're done with this, we'll have around like 50, 55, 60 guys we talked about. 60 guys of a player pool that's like 1,000 is pretty good. And the fact that the Chiefs only have 12 of those, so the Chiefs go 12 of the 60 we talk about, that's pretty good. And we did that last year. Hopefully that can happen again this year. So we'll see. So let's see who's in the chat tonight before we go to our sponsor, PrizePicks. Miss LaShadow, my friend, my dear friend. I talk to Miss LaShadow more than I talk to some of my family members, really, with her and I DMing, her and I commenting on posts and stuff. So I love Miss Shadow. Hope you're doing well tonight. I'm glad you're joining us. Will, my guy, missed y'all last week. Yeah, where you been, man? What the heck? Tasia missed you. Tasia needed backup last week because Tasia was getting dominated on the Monday show last week. Witchy Hall, what's going on, Witchy? Aaron Rose is in here. What's up, Aaron? We got a nice little hodgepodge of people in here. Witchy, what's going on, Witchy? Again, Will, Witchy, Aaron Rose. Okay, all right. So we have 10 people in right now watching the show. Looks like we have 3 or 4 people in the live. But yeah, come on in, guys. Let's get cracking for this show. And I'll say this, man. Like, I want the draft to come because I'm just tired of every day of a new rumor. Oh, Chiefs are going to trade up. Chiefs are not going to trade up. Chiefs want an offensive lineman. Oh, they don't want an offensive lineman. Chiefs might go for Kenyon Sadiq. They might not go Kenyon Sadiq. They might trade back. Dallas Cowboys want to trade with the Chiefs to get to number 9, go 12-9. I mean, I'm really tired of it. So I just want to get to the actual show. I think we all do. These mock draft shows are great. The prospect shows are great. But I think everyone just wants to get to the brass tacks here and just wants to get down and see what we're doing. What is Brett Veach cooking? Andy Reid said today during his little press conference that, they are fine with the offense right now. Like, I think it said something along the lines of, I don't think we're going to be drafting anything that's really going to change what we do, which I think is interesting. Just wild stuff. So it's like, okay, well, if you don't think so, then, what does that say about the offensive line, right? We're not going to draft a tackle, maybe. And then Andy also took a shot at Juwan Taylor today, saying he likes what he sees with the offensive line that they have right now. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Because the only real change there is Jalen Moore jumps to the starting right tackle, and Juwan Taylor's gone. So I thought that was interesting too, right? Like, just very, very interesting. I mean, Andy's he's a very polite guy, but if he's taking a shot at Juwan Taylor, goes from making $23 million a year to making a $5 million $1-year $5 million deal with Atlanta. Just tells you, man, like he didn't have the juice. And we saw he didn't have the juice. But yeah, very interesting stuff from Andy today. But yeah, as I can tell, and I told Lil Miss Shadow this on Twitter, the more rumors I hear, the more smoke screens I hear. I have zero clue what they're going to do at number 9. I really do. Like, at first I thought it was going to be an edge. I mean, I still want it to be an edge. And I heard they might trade up for David Bailey. But now we're talking about, like, what Todd McShay said last night, that the Chiefs, they really want to hammer home this offensive line. But although Andy said today he likes what he sees from his offensive line. So, like, I don't know, right? It's I don't know what to trust. At the end of the day, we could say what we want. We could say what the needs are. We could say who we should target. We could say who's an Andy guy. We could say who's a Spags guy. But at the end of the day, there's only one person that really knows, and that's Brett Veach, right? Brett Veach is the one who knows all. And I love how on Twitter it's like people think that to praise Brett Veach is A, being called a bootlicker, B, called a homer, which is crazy, right? Like, if anybody's gained like the clout to do whatever they want to do as far as draft, who they want to draft, who they want to trade, whatever they want to do, it's Brett Veach. And I don't know where people have come from on this, saying, if you praise Brett Veach, you're a homer. Look at the hardware. What if any GM has bought that goodwill? It's a guy who's won 3 Super Bowls, and I think it's Brett Veach. So I don't know. People say it's a horrible roster, worst roster in the league. Not really, but whatever. I mean, again, you can't please everybody. And I think that's what it is, because one down year from the Chiefs, and now people don't trust Brett Veach's his moves. Don't trust Andy Reid's moves. It's ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. But again, I think people are just kind of getting antsy as we inch closer to the draft. I'm antsy too, right? Because I want to see who we got. And I know a lot of you guys in the chat here just want to see what we get, and me too. Like, right? We have this David Bailey versus Ruben Bain debate. People saying, "Oh, he's short arm, he sucks." Like, come on, give me a break. If the Chiefs like him, I trust Brett Veach and I trust Steve Spagnuolo. I trust whatever. Witchy Hall, the haters just grasping at straws there. Oh, 100%. 100%. So I should bet on the Bucks. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't know. Miss Little Shadow says, apparently Cam Jordan, future Chief, is in Japan for the earthquake. Ooh, no. That's like, I didn't even know there was an earthquake. I've been so, guys, there's so much going on this week for me. I have, obviously, the million streams we're doing this week. And then on top of that, I'm doing my post-game reaction shows for my 76ers podcast, so I have that as well. I think I'm streaming every day this week. I think so. And I think I might stream two times on Friday night. I believe the Sixers play Friday night, and we have the second round and third round Friday night. So a lot going on. So if I missed the Japan earthquake, that's too bad. I didn't know that was going on. So that's I hope everyone. I hope it's not too big of an earthquake. And hope people are healthy. And if there's any Chief Concerns fans who are out in Japan right now, sending my love to you. I wouldn't be so sure. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Joel Embiid might be coming back. Joel Embiid might be coming back. So I wouldn't be so sure. Our Superman's coming. I hope he comes back, but we'll see. But yeah, it doesn't look good. Yesterday was a rough day for me. But all right, before we 7.2, holy smokes. Yikes. Well, I hope everyone's okay from that, and then I hope there's no residuals from like any kind of tsunami coming from that. 7.2 is big. Whew. Nafis Foster, my guy's been commenting on every one of our videos we put out. I know we've been putting out a lot of content, so I'm sorry for flooding your timelines on YouTube, guys, but we have a lot of stuff to get out there before the draft, especially these prospect videos. They got to get out before the draft. They got to get out. So you're going to see a lot of updates from us from tonight or starting tomorrow morning to Wednesday to get all 9 videos out. So, yeah. Nafis Foster, Chief Concerns, JD and Marks. I'm ready for Thursday. I'll be watching every move we make. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Love it. All right, guys, we're going to pay some bills. We're going to go to our sponsor, PrizePicks, and they got some interesting stuff coming for the draft. Really, this is I found this to be a very interesting nugget, so take a look at this. You guys might actually be kind of – we'll talk about it on the other side of this, but I thought this was pretty wild. With the NFL draft coming up, PrizePicks has a really cool team picks feature where you can get involved with team-based outcomes. If you look at the possible outcomes, they have Ruben Bain as the highest odds of coming to Kansas City at number 9. Now, I want Ruben Bain to come to Kansas City, but most mock drafts from these experts out there don't have Ruben Bain falling to number 9. Spencer Fano, who has recently got some buzz around the Kansas City Chiefs at right tackle, is the second highest odds to come to Kansas City. Mansour Delane, cornerback from LSU, third highest odds. And then Francis Maui-Noah. So 2 tackles, Ruben Bain and Mansour Delane. And don't forget, you can follow the link in the description and follow along with what I'm doing on the app so you don't miss any of my picks. If you're new, download the PrizePicks app, use code HMA, and when you play your first $5 lineup, you'll get $50 in lineups instantly. PrizePicks is available in most states. Play responsibly, and let's get back to the video. So, I don't know if you guys caught that, but so PrizePicks is like a predictive market, right? So it's like Polymarket or Kalshi. It's like any of those, right? The famous ones. Everyone's doing predictive markets now. Somehow it's a loophole for a lot of these states that don't allow gambling. But anyway, so PrizePicks has the number 9 pick odds, right? It's their predictive outcomes. And Ruben Bain is like the heavy favorite to come to Kansas City. And for me, it's like, whoa. Like every mock draft I've seen, right? Like, we all do the PFF ones or the A to Z sports ones, and sometimes Ruben Bain is there at 9. Most times he's not. But the fact that mock draft, that predictive outcome there has Ruben Bain as the highest odds to come to Kansas City at number 9. And for me, that's like, whoa, like, okay. What's going on here? Because that's surprising to me. Because I've seen all these things like if the Chiefs want Ruben Bain or David Bailey, they have to trade up into the top 5 to get him. But now I'm seeing this predictive outcome that says that Ruben Bain has the highest odds to be picked at number 9 by the Kansas City Chiefs. That's nuts. That's nuts to me. Really, it is. It makes me happy, obviously, because hey, we can get our pass rusher and a guy who's one of the best two-way DNs in this draft as far as stopping the run, as well as being a legit pass rusher. So you got to get like that. It's like, whoa, man! Like, what do these predictive markets know that we don't know, that these mock draft or so-called NFL draft experts don't know, right? It's interesting, right? So for me, I'm all in on that. I love that. I don't think he'll fall there, but if he does, we better not skip him 100%. But that's the thing. That's right. Because you look at it, it's the predictive market for that was like, I think it said something to like who will be picked at number 9. It's not that who will the Chiefs pick. It's specifically, if you look at the wording of that, it's who will be picked at number 9, and the Chiefs are the number 9 team, and Ruben Bain coming in the number 9 spot. It's not who the Chiefs will pick, right? Because that would make sense. oh, if the Chiefs trade up to 5, sure, Ruben Bain. But no, it's saying at number 9, and Ruben Bain has the highest odds to be drafted by the Chiefs at number 9. And that's, for me, it's like that doesn't make any sense because every mock draft, every draft expert says otherwise. They say, oh, Ruben Bain's a top 5, top 6 pick. They know something we don't, potentially. I mean, again, these predictive markets aren't everything. You know, the sports books don't know everything, right? They can give you the lines of, this team's going to win by 10, but then they end up losing. So they don't know everything. But I do think it's interesting that the Ruben Bain is the highest, because I would think either Fano, Downs would have been higher than that, but the fact that Ruben Bain was there at number 1, pretty wild to me. And I'll say this, if Ruben Bain comes to the Chiefs at number 9, already you're getting an A+ from me. I may be biased because I'm a Ruben Bain guy and I'm also a Chief guy. But if Ruben Bain comes to the Chiefs at number 9, I think we're talking about A+ draft already. We're already starting off at the high. Forget about what's going to happen at 29 and 40. But like right off the bat, we're starting with an A+, and we're gonna be having celebrations and dancing in the streets over here in Fairfax, Virginia. That's what we're doing. Okay, let me put you straight. I will be throwing a block party if Ruben Bain is drafted by the Chiefs at number 9 on Thursday. Let me tell you that, and I'll go live from the street if that happens. You best believe. You best believe. Seriously, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, and I was just doing, I was doing my ad read. That's what you do with these podcasts, and I come across that. I'm like, holy smokes. Ruben Bain's the highest odds to come to Kansas City? Whoa. I mean, man. I don't know. It was a nice little splash of water in my face. Saying, like, man, it's the hopes and dreams of getting an elite edge rusher there. And I know some people say, oh, he's not elite because he's got short arms. Okay. JD sent me this photo about a couple weeks ago of what, like, the 2 inches, the 2-inch arm length, the whole discussion about Ruben Bain's arms. It was like two quarters. It was like 2 quarters from what they say is like I think it was 2 quarters. From what they say is like, a legit arm strength versus not. And it was literally on the measuring tape. He had 2 quarters next to each other. That's what we're talking about here. The people say, oh, he's not good. He's got T-Rex arms, won't be able to get to the quarterback. His strength won't matter in the NFL. We'll see. I mean, again, there's always guys who are picked in the top 10 who don't pan out. But at the end of the day, if he's there, and also too, the whole, he's got the not off the field issues, but he's had the whole car accident, the stuff that happened in 2024. So like that could be, that could play a part in him slipping to number 9. But man, I'm really excited about that potential, man. Really, really I am. Happy birthday to Chiefs legend Willie Roaf. Yeah, friend of the show, Willie Roaf. Fun fact about Willie Roaf. Willie Roaf was the first Chief Concerns guest on the show. First Chief Concerns guest was Willie Roaf. You guys can go down to the archives, and I think the first episode was me, JD, and Warfield. Second episode was Willie Roaf previewing, I think it was week 8 or week 9. I don't even remember what week that was. We started like mid-season our first season. But yeah, Willie Roaf was the first guest of Chief Concerns. So pretty cool. Pretty cool fun factoid there. A little Chief Concerns trivia. But didn't the Giants and Bengals trade have a pick earlier than ours? I think they'll pick Bain. So Giants traded Lawrence for the 10th pick. So that pick's behind us. So the Giants have the 5th and 10th. And from what I've read, apparently they like Jordan Tyson a lot. So from what I read was they could potentially pick Tyson at 5 and then pick whatever BPA at 10, which would be interesting. So if they do that, and I think I read earlier that like they're not interested in Sonny Styles anymore. That's pretty interesting to me. Because I mean, a lot of people say Sonny Styles is one of the best players in the draft. I don't know. Like I said, outside of Mendoza going at number 1, I can tell you what the players are going to be drafted in that top 10. But as far as like who's going where, I don't know. Like it's a real crapshoot. So from 2 to 10. No clue. I have no idea what's going on. But Cornell Tate will be gone. Tyson will apparently be gone. Apparently people aren't scared about his injury history. If teams are checking out or pressing the green light on that, then, hey, it's going to be interesting, man. I cannot wait. We're a couple days away. Just can't wait. Our guy, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn, is joining us now. There he is.
Yo, what's up?
Draft week, baby.
Yes, it is. Draft week. Finally. Oh my gosh. Finally here, Marcus. Because I was going to lose my mind if I had to do one more of these things. Okay? I lost my mind a couple of weeks ago. It was like, hey, we need to go ahead and get to it. What up, about Witchy Hall? Andrea, Miss Little Shadow, Optimistic James, Delmonte Green Bean, Aaron Rose. What's going on? The usual suspects is in the house. Will's, it's your birthday, brother? Or was your birthday? Happy birthday, man. It's to you. Sam McBride. Who else we got in? Tariq 84. Nafis. What's going on? All my folks is here. 4KC. I think it's all everybody I've seen so far, man. Marcus, what's going on, brother? DJ Jazzy? Or DJ D Jazzy? That's what it is.
D Jazzy. Yeah, JD, it's I gotta say, like, this whole the smoke screens. I feel like, you know how we're kind of getting stir crazy with these prospect shows and just the draft talk in general. Mm-hmm. I feel like Brett Veach has come to a point of getting stir crazy too, because that's why every day we hear a different story about, oh, the Chiefs want a right tackle. Oh, now actually no, the Chiefs might trade back now. Oh, the Chiefs actually might trade up to get an edge rusher. Actually, no. You know what? Chiefs are going to stand pat and get the best right tackle available at number 9. And I feel like he's having fun with it at this point. He's just throwing stuff out there, and just no one knows what we're going to do. And then Mitch Holthus posted his binder. I don't know if you saw that whole thing on Twitter today. Mitch Holthus, he does his own research, I'm sure, but he posted his binder, and the first page he pulls out of his binder is the edge rush. It's like his edge rush rankings. Yeah. So everyone, I took a screenshot of the list. I was like, oh, he's got Bain and Reese. I was like, is that the Chiefs list or is it Mitch Holthus's list? And everyone online is having an argument saying, no, Mitch's list is different from the Brett Veach's list. They would put that out there, but it's obviously he's doing that purposely by putting the edge rush as the first page to get people talking.
Well, Marcus, listen, there's plenty of lists going on out here. There's plenty of opinions, and everybody's coming out, and I'm got my ears close to the organization. Beach is thinking this, and everybody has an opinion. Everybody has one. And look, what we will know is on Thursday, we will find out exactly what direction we're going to go. But my own opinion, it just makes sense for us to go ahead and get a premier pass rusher, a premier guy. And so we got two guys. The other guy, we know, Avril Reese is a dude that he's not really, he's off the ball linebacker, but he's so athletic, he can probably do some of those things. He's going to be very raw if they want to use him that way. My thing is he's just he's a power piece. So you can use him anywhere, put him, and he'll be able to make it work, make it happen. But going back to that and saying, we know Bailey and Bain are the premier pass rushers in this draft. We know it. And the Chiefs have had both of them up there. They have been looking and talking about both these guys, right? So look, we've been talking about also too, everybody's talking about a tackle, showing up the line, all these different things. But I think our main thing that we got to get right, man, is our D-line. We just have to, bottom line. And so getting a premier guy like that, like these guys, will probably be in our best interest to do that. So we'll just see. We'll see. We'll be all right.
Well, and since our last show, I mean, we talked about the Rappaport report that the Chiefs might trade up to get one of the blue chipper edge rush guys. Another reports came out that the Chiefs are considering moving up to the Arizona's pick. Again, this is all stuff that's being put out there. Who knows? But when I was doing an ad read for PrizePicks, PrizePicks it's a predictive markets, just like there's Poly Market and Kalshi, there's predictive ones. So the guy who had the highest odds, JD, at the number 9 pick for the Chiefs to draft was Ruben Bain, which is surprising to me because all these draft experts say, oh, Ruben Bain's going top 4 and that's it. If you want him, you got to come into the top 5 or top 6. But of all the top 5 guys, Ruben Bain was number 1. I think Spencer Fano was number 2, and Mansour Delaney was number 3. And for the highest odds to be Ruben Bain to come at number 9 was just. I mean, like I said, I would be throwing a block party if number 9 comes, Ruben Bain's there, and we draft him. I mean, that's already we're starting off the draft at an A+. It can only go down from there.
No doubt. Man, I'm like, oh, we got what we needed. We needed that building block and start there. and everything else could fall into place after that. So I'm fine, like you said. I will be absolutely amazed and very ecstatic and happy if we get us a Reuben Bain, okay, or Bailey, whoever it may fall to us, getting a premier pass rusher. That would be, I would jump for joy, okay? If you ever see me jump for joy, you will see that happen on Thursday, okay? So everybody come out here to see Jason potentially jump for joy on that Thursday, baby, this week. But so here's the other thing though, Marcus, because obviously we got a lot invested in the first pick. You know, what it potentially may be, move up to go get a guy. What do we do if, we don't have that guy? What do we do in the later rounds is the question, okay? And I think those are very important as well. The second, third, and fourth round guys are going to be guys who's going to be playing significantly, if not going to be starters. That's the way I look at it, or a rotational piece into the things that we need to do. So if y'all just come here to the show, I will give y'all my rundown, what I feel like a priority and what I feel like we're going to draft. Defensive end, D-line is a must-have. Secondary and safety is the next. Wide receiver, athlete, then tight end, linebackers, and everything else after that falls into place. But that is my wish list of things that we address in this draft immediately. So, and everybody has to, I tell you what, everybody, y'all throw what y'all want, okay? I want to hear from you all. Who do y'all want in this draft? Okay. If you want to, elaborate why you like the person or why you want to get them, or you can just say the name. Okay. Because I love to just see it. I just want to see where everybody is at right now. Just get a handle on it, Marcus. Just like to see.
So appreciate the contribution, Del Monte.
Yes,
says they always trying to set up draft prospects with some okie dokie BS.
Always. But that's how you play the game. That's how you play it. You don't want nobody to know what you're doing. Hey, man, look, this is poker. And then you want everybody to know what your hand is, right? You got to keep a poker face. Keep it right there close to your heart, right to your chest. All right? And let's go deal. Let's go get it, right?
Sim McBride says, that being said, I really appreciate all of you, all you have done to educate us on the picks that are out there and helping us understand and have a stake in who they pick. Thank you, CC. Appreciate that, Sim. Appreciate that. We do with JD, myself, and Tasia put in a lot of work to, break down guys, see guys who fit the Chiefs and also, try to put it in a way that everyone can understand. And again, like last year, I remember during the draft, JD, people were tweeting at us saying, oh man, they got your guy. They got your guy. They got your guy. They got a Chief Concerns guy. And we got because, there's 1,000 players that go for this draft, if not more than that. Oh, yeah. And then on our show, we probably do about 50 to 60 guys we talk about. And the Chiefs only have 12 picks of that, right? So, then Chiefs, the fact that Chiefs are picking 12 of our 60 that we got last year, and hopefully we can continue that trend. I hope we go 100% again, JD, so we can say we did 2 years in a row going 100% on Brett Veach's mind.
Yeah. So, Marcus, let me ask you this, okay? I know you have your own thought about some of these things. Is there anybody in particular that you listen to pundit-wise and you just like, man, maybe this guy's got it? Or are you kind of like me? I'm one of those. I'm just like, you know what, man, I'm not listening to any of this, right? I'm just going.
The only probably insider that I like when I listen, I'm like, okay, it's not clickbait. It's not just BS. It's probably Albert Breer, who is one of the only guys who was talking about us with Kenneth Walker. Everybody else was saying, oh, yeah, he's going to the Giants, he's going to the Broncos. But Breer was the only one that stuck to it, and it's not the first time that he's the guy's an established NFL insider. I mean, he took over for Peter King at that Monday morning quarterback. But I think Breer's probably my number one guy as far as draft people. I'm not even buying into that. I'll listen to guys who cover the game and will talk about players. Like Tom McShay, he covers college and he knows these college players. But as far as what they're hearing, as far as I'm hearing they might go him and they might trade up, that I'm like, okay. Once I hear that's out, I'm out on that. I'll listen to your insight and analysis on these guys. But as far as once you lose me when you start talking about they might trade up for this guy, I could see him doing this because I'm hearing stuff. It's like, okay, if you're hearing that, then that probably means won't come to fruition.
Right. Look, there's a lot of ball out there. I understand there's a lot of teams just to know what teams need and what they want, and they kind of see it and everybody's kind of like, yeah, man, it makes sense. But just for me, I mean, practical purposes, We definitely need to get us a pass rush. The depth obviously is in the secondary and safety range, but we could probably wait till later rounds to kind of address. Wide receivers kind of like it's another one of those things. Wide receivers are like first 2 to 3 rounds are going to be quality guys. Quality guys are going to be come out here and play. And then you're talking about, tight ends. We got to think about moving on from Travis. It's going to be his last year, but do we address it this year in the draft? Is the question. I don't know. I don't know if we do that or not. And I think if we do, we're trying to get somebody who is the heir apparent to Travis, then we're talking about more of a skill set that don't have to do all of his production, but 3/4 of it. How about that? At least 3/4 of it. And you'll get a solid guy and a solid pick. But does those solid picks mean that you got to get those guys within the first 3 or 4 rounds? That's the question. So it's always it's always what up? Oh, look at Tage just cleaned up. Woo, look at Tage. Look at him, man. Got the Hollywood smile right there, Tage. Look at you, baby. I see you.
Hey man, it's almost draft day. Time
to clean up.
Clean up.
Them look good for those interviews, man. I'm not doing them Makai Lemon interviews over here. Sorry I'm late. I was having some technical problems. I lost my document I had ready to go, and it cleared out all my draft notes.
Oh
everything.
no!
So yeah,
we'll do it live, baby. We'll do it live.
Well, no, I have my email, so I had to just pull. That's why I'm late. I had to pull from. It was just a mess. It was a big mess.
You're good.
But yeah.
I will say Andy Reid gave his pre-draft or the OTA opening activity stuff today. And he talked about the draft, and we go back to the whole don't believe everything Brett Veach or Andy Reid say because they're not really going to give us much insight. But he did say because the early because we talked about the long offseason already. Because of the long offseason, they've already kind of developed their plans, their offensive game plan, and he pretty much said that this draft won't really hinder what their game plan is, really. They already kind of have it set up, and it's this draft really won't do much to that. And for me, and a lot of people, and I don't know what you guys think, again, this is all if you trust what Andy Reid says, but for me, it tells me this is going to be a defensive draft because then you add in with the fact that, Veach says they want to really hammer home the D-line and finally figure that out, and then Andy Reid saying they've already developed their offensive game plan and nothing in this draft is really going to hinder that or change that. What do you make of that? Do you feel like that lends a hand to they really are going to finally figure out this defensive line and defensive front?
Well, you already got your quality pieces that that your foundation of guys that you need, and everybody else is kind of you just adding on to what you want to accomplish later on with that. I think the big thing, you have to make sure you get a good safety and second, corner in here. I mean, legit guys that's going to be here for a long time. Seriously, I think you really have to think about it that way. So we got Noah Williams, who is a star in the making. We've seen what he's been able to do. Christian Fulton's only had the 1 year. Hicks played a decent job at safety. Jamari too, but we need a solid guy that we know is going to be here for a number of years that solidifies our defense. I think our linebackers are pretty good. And we may address that as well. But I think 2 guys that we know we're going to have here, obviously, is Vasa and Nick right now for the foreseeable future. If we address another guy, yeah, man, probably. Tage, you said that one chart was talking about, linebackers is one of those guys you go get in free agency, right? The price point is a little bit better. You can kind of spend a little bit of money to get a good guy into, your fold, and it'd be good. But I think you got your quality guys. We know what works with us. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and everybody else. You go on from there. So,
Tage, any thoughts on Andy Reid's comments or no?
I think this whole draft period's been one day you hear come hell or high water, we're going offensive tackle. The next day it doesn't really matter that much. And we'll wait. We like who we have here. And then you hear that we like Tyson. And then you hear that Reed said he likes where our receiver room's at. And he doesn't think it's as bad a shape as everyone else saying. Like every single time there's a comment, the fact that there's another comment like refuting that like 24 hours later just means I don't believe anything right now. It's like it's smoke screen season, and it's even more so for the Chiefs because we're not usually at 9 and we are. So I think it's like just a heavier cloud of smoke than it's a smoke screen every year, but this year the screen's thick, man. You can't even see like if it's like you can't see if it's cloudy or sunny outside. That's how thick that screen is right now. So I have no idea anymore. I think you have to kind of put it all into perspective. And yeah, I just think this kind of goes into what one of the things I wanted to talk about before we got into the players. And it's kind of about just this whole process, kind of in general, and how we're so used to kind of having I think the process, to me at least, and I think it's for all of us to a certain degree, but it's not really a my guy, your guy, told you so. I told you he's not a Spags guy. Feach better not drafted another tackle in the first round. His arms are too short. I think we're so obsessed with being right, and believe me, I love being right. It's nice to be right. I just think this process is more about just familiarizing yourself with not only the players, but the different circumstances that bring you to your next selection. Because I think this whole thing is a choose your own adventure book. I don't know if you guys remember that. I think I even said this last year. So like you're turning to page 47 based on what you choose on page 13. And I think there's so much strategy. There's so many pockets and tiers to these positions that need to be hit at just the right time before like a tier drops off, right? So it's hard to say, oh, we need receiver first, or we need tackle first, or this. You don't know how this draft's going to evolve because it's not only us in it, right? It's a lot of other teams and a lot of other people with their own strategies involved. So when do you hit something at the right time? When are you aggressive? When are you more patient, right? And Veach kind of talked about this in that a couple interviews ago. So when you're researching and watching a prospect and then talking through each one on the show, like we have been, you love some of the guys, you don't love some of the guys, but there's a decent possibility that the Chiefs take some of these guys we talked about, whether we loved them or we didn't. So either way, it's nice to see the logic behind each selection, even when you don't necessarily agree with it. Because I wouldn't agree with every single player that we've talked about them taking, but doing this exercise, and I hope everyone gets out of it listening to us, at least a perspective behind it and their logic. Because even though I wouldn't necessarily take some of these guys, especially where they might get taken, I see why they would do it, right? And I think it's really important to understand, perspective and all of it.
Yeah, and that's every year in the draft, though. I mean, it's change. It doesn't. I mean, this is really what the draft is. And so, like I said, when you're trying to build for the foreseeable future, it's always about, well, does this guy work with what we do right now? We don't quite love him, but he's a necessity. He's somebody that we do need, because the guy that we do have here may not be here in another couple of years because of contract disputes or whatever. And so we know going into this, it tells you a lot during off season, okay, the free agency period and whatnot, okay. We lost our 2 corners, all right. I think the Chiefs knew, and people could disagree with me if they want to or not. I think they knew they weren't going to sign what's the name of it?
Walker.
Huh?
Walker?
Well, no. I think
they weren't going to McDuffie.
I think we knew we were going to sign McDuffie. He was just going to be too expensive. We understood. Yep. And so that's why we kept kicking the can down the road, just kept playing with it. We wanted to see what other guys were out who was going to get. And so, you're doing your homework, and this is what they need to understand. When you're playing the season in college, they have scouts have been doing their homework for 2 years, keeping the eyes on guys. They have. So this ain't just like, oh, well, after the season's over, they just looking at guys. No, all season they've been evaluating, even during, the 1 or 2 years before that. I'm just telling you because, like, when I was at EKU, we had scouts came every single year because there was guys that was coming out in the draft at EKU. Okay, so different teams would come down, same notes, looking at guys. They're looking at guys that's coming up. And I remember they was asking me, like, what year you come out in the draft? And I was like, man, I'm only a freshman. They was like, look, you keep up with what you're doing, hey, you're going to have a shot. And so every single year when I got to start coaching, college ball, same, guys would come in, would talk to the scouts. Hey, what do you think about this guy? What do you think you're going to have next year, coach? And it's always these conversations. Now, NIL has kind of changed it a little bit, but they still know what guys are. It ain't just like, guys going to be somewhere. And so, look, the Chiefs, I've said this. We could have had a draft last week. They know what they want. They've been talking to these guys and doing these deals back doors for weeks now. 4 weeks. So when he's sitting over here and he's alluding to like, hey, man, there's going to be a lot of trades in this draft, they've been talking about it because they've been trying to talk about trades. And they know it. And Tage, you make a valid point because it is like we may not fall in love with this guy, okay? We may go in this direction because we need to go in this direction. We just have to. And so some of those things, like we got to be okay. We just got to be okay with some of these picks that we're going to do. Like everybody's like, trust Veach. But look, everybody in the NFL know the Chiefs ain't gone anywhere. We had a bad year this last year. But you best believe we're still on everybody's lips and everybody's minds, okay? Because we've been the most dominant team in the past 8 years, really. We have been. So everybody's still looking to see what we're going to get. And so now this whole process is still the same, and it hadn't changed anything. And it's just, for me, it's just so much conversation to talk about it, man. I'm over it. I'm done with it. I'm just like, let's go. Let's get there.
I do think it is the same every year. You're right. I think what's different about this year in particular, at least for Chief fans, I think two big factors. One, we had such a bad year this year that it sucked a little of the in-season excitement out and kind of put it on the back burner. And I think all that backed up excitement is now boiled over into kind of the off-season excitement. For a lot of bad teams, these are what Raider fans pretty much deal with every year for the last 25 years. Just being really bad, and like their peak excitement is this time of the year, A, when you have a high pick, B, when you're not going to lose this weekend. Like Raiders guaranteed are not going to lose this weekend. They're not going to lose because they're not playing. 1, 2, they have a high pick. So it's all potential. You can't say, oh, we're going to be bad because of X, Y, Z, because everyone's got rose-colored glasses on. Like a lot of these people don't know about these players that much. But what you usually hear on draft day is the good things, which you should. I mean, these guys are all good players, right? Whether they pan out, it's a different story. But they're all deserving of a draft pick this upcoming days. The second part is, and what feeds into that is, we haven't had a 9th pick in a very, very long time. So there's that extra pressure to deliver on such a high pick that we got because of how bad we were this year. So
okay, we'll tell you. Okay, I will say this. I know we keep saying bad. But I think it's what like Andy was hearkening to was like, listen, we still have the core group of guys. We weren't a terrible team last year. Like we were like plays away from winning games, right? Like seriously. Like we were,
I agree. I agree.
I think that's what he was saying. Like the core group of guys that we have, we're still going to keep that here. We still have a formula that we need to win. So that's why we don't want to put all our stake into the draft. Like it's going to be the all end all be all. Like the guy that comes in is not going to just change everything for us. Like we got to understand the guys that we have here is that's our bread and butter. That's our bread and butter. Okay. Everybody comes in and joins in the, in the Avengers. All right. Is this going to be Ant-Man or is this going to be is this going to be Thor? Who's this going to be? The Avengers still going to be a strong team. It's like who you just add on to it. Is this Black Panther? Who you got coming in? And so I think it's what Andy is saying, like, hey, like, yeah, it's going to be an exciting time for us, but we still need to understand who we are.
I agree. I don't think we're bad, but you are, to quote Parcells, you are what your record says you are. So we did end up bad. We did end up bad record.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that. I mean, we kind of tanked towards the end of that season. Like we kind of like the last 3 to 4 games. We kind of like say, all right, Mahomes is done. Let's put all these guys in IR. I mean, our record is because we kind of like went towards that. We weren't fighting for wild card anymore.
But that was bad. right? Like that wasn't a good product. We weren't putting a good product out in front on the field every week. Were we?
No,
Towards the end of the year?
I would say it'd be different if we had our entire plethora of guys all throughout the season and we just kept continuing to lose. Like if Mahomes was still in there until the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, we were losing. I would say, yeah, we were bad last year.
We still had shots and opportunity to make. I mean, we were like giving up games. Like, we know we could give up this game, and we still have a game we can still play, and it could kind of still work. So that's why, like the parts like that, I disagree with that. You know, look, this is the NFL. Okay, everybody has great players, and the thing is, because we've been so good for such a long time, and to see like this fall, and I think what Marcus is. Like what I'm understanding you is at a certain point, there was like, okay, now we can't recover. But we were still in the, in the end, we were still in it. And then when Cash got hurt and other ones, it was like, okay, we understand this is, we just got to go to next year and try to get guys some playing time. And I think what people are upset with, because when we did that, then our young guys still didn't get to play. Boston still didn't get to play, right? Royal still didn't get to play. And that didn't make any sense. Like, well, if we're doing this, what are we doing? What message are we sending? So,
yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is we're not a bad team, but we had a bad year. I mean, we were 9th pick. Like, I don't think anyone's. I hope we're not disputing that. We had a bad season. It's like saying when like you're not an asshole. You're acting like one. That's not who you are. You're certainly acting like one
right now. Yeah,
and we certainly acted like an asshole last year, and we had the 9th pick because of it. So that
doesn't mean that's who you are. That's not who you are.
No, exactly. We're not a bad team, and that's why when everyone talks about who they're going to mock to us at 9, they're like, "I can't believe the Chiefs," or "I can't believe I'm about to take a player to the Chiefs at 9," because they can't wrap their mind around it. Mm-hmm. But all this to say, that catastrophe equal 9th, and I think that just adds to the pressure of giving the fan base something to be happy about, because for the first time in a long time, this last season did not give us something to be happy about by season's end. So I just think people have added that expectation and that pressure to this pick. That's why this year more than most, you're getting a lot more. People are getting emotional. People are getting really, really, they get up in a fit about this. It's there's a lot of discourse online, more than usual for the Chiefs, because we're not just sitting here waiting at 31, smiling, waiting for our guy to pluck and be on our championship roster. We're 9th. We're in the middle of that fray of all the bottom feeders for the most part, and we're not supposed to be. And I think we're anxious to get back there, and we're anxious to have a reason to be happy about it. So I just think that's added to, that's the difference between this year and not more normal year. And the reason why it added so many prospects for us, I was talking to Marcus the other day about this. It's such a weird prospect year for us because we had to add all of like the top like players into our prospect pool that we usually don't have to talk about. Like if we only had the 29th pick, we wouldn't be talking about Bain or Bailey or Sonny Styles. Like we wouldn't even be like 15 of these guys wouldn't even be on our list to talk about. So it's just added a whole other like tier that we had to kind of address, because the drafts are unpredictable. And, we've heard all this trade up talk this whole last week. So, even the top 3 players are on our radar at this point, except for pretty much everyone except for Mendoza. Like we could have talked about this offseason, really. Yeah. Anyone but him. Even Reese lately, they're saying like if he drops to 3, Kansas City can move up for 3 for Reese. So that's their guy. Like you're in here and Reese him, and in no other year can you get your hands on the possible number 2 selection unless you're giving up the next like 2 or 3 first-round picks. And that's just not the price right now. So just very interesting.
No, yeah, I get you on that. I just, for me, when you're in this position where you're looking at a guy right now, like I said, I think he keeps going back to letting everybody understand, like, man, look, we still the Chiefs, and there's a lot of contrarians out here, and it doesn't matter who we're going to get, because they're still not going to like the guy. And we're sitting over here now, and like all the chatter out here, and people still not happy. Like we put out little things all the time, and we're homers. Me and Marcus are homers. All you're sitting with homers, and I was like, man, we're We Chiefs fans. What do you mean?
We're bootlickers, JD. That's another one. We're bootlickers.
Oh, well, it's crazy.
How dare you believe anything that comes out of the Chiefs' mouth?
Yeah. It's like, what? Okay. Like,
dude, I mean, he directed that at me at first. I was like, what do you want me to agree? What do you want me to answer? What's your stupid question? Your stupid question is, do I ever believe anything out of the Chiefs' mouths? Like, yes. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what a dumb question. And that makes you a homer? Do you believe one thing out of your entire organization's mouth?
Yeah, right.
Whatever. It's skewed.
It's bad to be optimistic around here and this, like, geez. Okay. Oh, man.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, so it's going to be a very action-packed week, obviously, in the Chiefs world, the NFL world, but as well on this show. I'm going to put this back up here for the people who are joining us now. About 50 people in the chat. So this is our schedule for the week. So tonight, Final Prospect Show. Wednesday is the official mock draft show. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, send us your mock drafts. Mention us on Twitter. You send us your mock drafts. DM us your mock drafts on Wednesday after we go over our Chief Concerns mock draft here on the show in front of you all with our shared screen here. We will post all the mock drafts that you guys send us because we want to hear from you guys to see who you guys want to go. So, and then obviously Thursday, post first round reaction show, second and third round reaction show on Friday, and then Saturday, the fourth and through seventh round reaction show, as well as the UDFA market beginning. So lots of stuff going on this week, guys. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to bring it all in with you all. So without further ado, let's get to our final prospect show of the 2026 draft season. And hopefully next year we are in the Super Bowl again. So the offseason window is much smaller.
Thank goodness. Yeah. It's been fun. All right.
I could go for a couple more weeks of this.
Oh.
I know you could.
No, definitely a part of me wants, I'm not tired of it, but I just, the anticipation, man, it's boiling over.
Well, so I feel like we've already sent in like our Christmas list, and like we're getting closer to Christmas, and it's like, okay, we're not still sending Santa Claus our Christmas list the 2 days before the Christmas day. Like that's already the toys are already in Santa's sleigh. Okay, now just deliver them. Just deliver them. Come on, Brett. Come on, Santa Veach, deliver him.
Yeah.
So, I tell you what, my guy right here, starting out, Max Iheanachor. Okay? Iheanachor.
Good pronunciation, JD.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Tage.
You hit it. You nailed it. That name gets butchered all the time, so you nailed it.
I was butchering it before today. Believe me, I was.
I didn't want to say it in opening because I was going to butcher it, so that's why I just didn't say anything.
So this is a young guy that is a very athletic right tackle. Okay, we're looking for right tackles in this draft. You have got your guy that we're looking at, maybe possibly at number 29. Okay, depends on what teams. Like we said, we don't know how this thing is going to go, but if some of the conversation being that Andy wants to shore up the offensive line and we want to make sure we get the guy for the future. I don't believe that we're going to go 9 for a tackle at all. We're just not going to do that because most of the tackles that we have coming out are left tackles, and those guys have been projected moving down to guard. Most of the guys. The thing about Max is he's a very athletic, raw type of talent. And I know, Tage, we had talked a couple of weeks. I know you put me on Cage, and I'm kind of looking at guys, their ability, athleticism. Max he fits all the mold for me as far as being able to move and see. He has great feet. He has great hips. He has pretty good strength. Great size. This is 6'6", 321. I think he maybe needs to get a little bit stronger. But as far as his raw ability, he's done a very good job for the time that he's been playing football, learning the position. He's one of those guys that you could really, bring along and grow into your starter. And so we talked about if this is something that we might look to go getting a guy in the draft, a true right tackle, I think Max would be the direction that we go. Okay. He's been very successful against some very good pass rushers. And so when I watch him on tape with the guys that I've seen, he's probably has the most upside of just getting better to me than everybody else, just because he is so raw. And so once he gets up here, he knows what he knows. But once he gets in, you could just tell, man, he's one of those guys who's going to get better. He's just going to grow. Young guy like this, you give him a little bit of playing time this year, maybe behind a Jalen Moore, Issa's over there, whatever it is. But he can be your right tackle of the future. I think he's one of those things, so I like this guy a lot. Like I said, if you go and watch his tape, you will be pleased with what he's been able to do. And I think he did a wonderful job against Bailey. I think they showed him.
Yeah, he did.
Going against Bailey, man, and he held his own. He actually did an amazing job with him. And so he's
and Malachi Lawrence.
Who?
And Malachi Lawrence, I believe, too.
Okay. Yeah. And so he was the one that kind of like seeing that, like having a premier defensive end, a pass rusher, edge guy, and this guy being able to hold his own really said a lot about who he is and his potential. So this is the guy, Max Iheanachor, okay? Iheanachor is the guy for us possibly at 29. Depends on how it's going to look. Because he could fall in that 29 to 40 range. You just don't know if, like, teams fall in love with a guy like this. Is he a project? What do we necessarily need? But for us, I think it's the direction that we would go more so than anything else.
Yeah, just the numbers that popped off to me because I did some research on him once. I saw the Vrabel workout video where Vrabel and him were kind of like going toe-to-toe with each other during his pro day, which I thought was cool. But the 0 sacks allowed, which was tied for first in the nation. And then also he surrendered a 3.1% pressure percentage. So, quarterbacks are just not they were not getting touched from his side. And also too, he's still kind of a raw talent as well, which I think is pretty crazy, right? Like that they still call him a raw talent. And even with being a raw prospect, he still allows 0 sacks. So what's his potential then? Like, what's his ceiling?
Right.
I mean, that would be and we're talking the 29 to 40 range, or if they want to trade up in the 20s to get him in the 20s, I think we're talking about a potential dominant beast at the right side or where they want to put him. But yeah, I like him.
If you look at a guy like this and he knows he's going against one of the best pass rushers and he delivers, the moment's not too big for him. I mean, it says it all about his mindset and who he is. And so what I did love, like you was talking about Vrabel, just, Vrabel's just coaching him up, little things that he sees being a pass rusher could help him out, right? Vrabel's like, look, this is how when I'm coming to you, this is how I'm going to try to beat you. So this is why I want you to be a little bit more stout or using your hands, getting a punch. And this is a coach who's coaching him up. This is exactly what he needs. He needs to see things like this, man. So that's.
And he started playing football in JUCO. He didn't even play in high school.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, guys that play in high school have already been playing. There's guys playing in freshman year of high school that have played football longer than Max Iheanachor. That's crazy. So I mean, yeah, for how raw he is, it really is untapped potential. I mean, the negatives on him are just so coachable. Hunting for a big hit. A lot of guys with powerful and size do that. Miss aims on maybe high. His hands are too high sometimes. That's very coachable. Mm-hmm. But what he has is just, you can't coach what he does have, right? So the first time I ever heard about him was I was listening to, it was a early draft show 2 or 3 months ago, and it was on early sleeper fits, and he was a sleeper at that point. So he wasn't even there. Now he's a top 30 pick. Yeah. And it was a CBS show. They did a prospects, and they did best team fits, and we were actually then one of the best team fits for him. They said the kind of O lineman Andy Reid would just love. I think he goes pretty high. I think he's probably gone before our pick. If he's not, he's the right tackles we talked about. Definitely one of the guys I could see us coming in, because I don't think he's someone that you necessarily maybe want to put out there right away. But I think if you give him 6 to 8 games and there's an injury or Jalen Moore looks rough or anything, I think he can come in at that point and do a serviceable job in his first year. I think beyond that's what you're drafting him for, though, right? The untapped potential. Why I think he goes before 29 is because he's one of the few guys that I think is athletic enough and has the build and the makeup to become like a franchise left tackle. And I think a team that has that kind of ceiling for him and likes him that much would give that extra investment. That's the reason why Freeling is talked about as high as he is, because Freeling has like left tackle potential, whereas the top tackles in the draft, right tackle.
You said left tackle?
Yes.
You thought like moving him over to left tackle?
Yeah, I think if he does go higher, that could be a reason why a team will do that, because they're like, you know what, we're not going to start him this year. We're gonna we'll try to like move him over and make him our future left tackle. Same with Freeling, but Maui Noah and Fano. I mean, their best projection is guard at this point. I mean, try him at right tackle. They're gonna. I mean, you're not going to invest 8 or 9 into a guy without at least trying him at right tackle first. If he fails, he fails. Whereas him, I think you can try him at left. You can try him at right. I mean, he's so raw. It's not like he's been playing right tackle for 10 years, right? He's so new to it all. If you're a team, you're like, I mean, he's so new. We're still teaching him technique. Why not just teach him technique at the left side now?
But the thing is, like, he's been playing right tackle at least for 3 years, right? And so him doing that is now you got to start all over again, because I mean, left tackle is just a different position. It's a different position. So a guy like this, if you're high on the right tackle, like, just keep him there. If he's untapped and you watch and he's doing a great job at the right side, like, there would be no reason. Like, you can find guys that play left tackle. Like, go ahead and just get that guy.
Can you? It's tough out there. I mean, we would know. You know what I mean? Like the DJ Humphreys, and we tried finding left tackles for a very long time, JD. It wasn't very easy.
Well, no, it's not easy, because sometimes you got to pay those guys, and then of course it's also too, do you take the chance to go do it? So we went and got Josh. Now we thought we had one in King Suma, right?
And Brown.
And so we had to move him down. The thing is, I mean, if you have somebody who is proficient in one position, just keep him there and then keep your search going, as opposed to like trying to just move a guy over, and then, because you still had to continue to search again for like a right tackle and stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably why Jalen Moore, I don't know if I should say this.
Go ahead. It's draft week. Let's get it all out there.
Okay. So Jalen's played both, but I think just where he may struggle a little bit. He's got this all season to get back and comfortable in the right tackle position. Now, playing left, he's been around Trent, and usually as coaching, when you're coaching guys up, you don't want to play musical chairs with guys. You just don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Because then all of a sudden they're not as great at that position, and they're just only good or just average at both. And so instead of doing that, like, look, I just want to you concentrating on this. All right, you're gonna be a left tackle. Let's make sure you're gonna be just a left tackle. I think Jalen's going to be okay at right tackle. I do believe that.
I hope so.
I hope so. But I think with this offseason and him actually having some experience playing it also too, is probably where he's going to be able to be successful. Let me put it that way. Okay. So
at least serviceable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
I think at this point, like, I don't even care if Jalen Moore is above average. Just give me average. Just give me adequate. I'm okay with adequate.
Right. And so if you got a young guy like this waiting in the wings, right, who's been playing this for the last 3 or 4 years. And like you said, give him some experience. Let him watch what he needs to do. You go work with his technique and his fundamentals. You just keep working on it. And if it does happen, if something does happen, and let's knock on wood that it doesn't, okay? This guy right here will be the guy to come in and go do it.
And cost control for 4 more years after that as our starting right tackle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree.
Yeah, and he did say that he's confident in the run game and he's confident in the offensive line, the guys they do have in the building, which could be intended as a slight shot at Juwan Taylor. Maybe.
Look, Marcus won't do it. You won't give him one of them, don't you, Mark? Marcus wanted to give him a couple of these out the door.
Maybe. I mean, it wasn't weird. He said he was confident in the guys up front, and he's confident in the run game this coming season, which the only difference to the offensive line is Juwan Taylor's chilling. Jim Moore's getting that story on that right tackle spot. So it's really like it'd be different if like it was like 3 new guys, but it's like it's 1 new guy because it's pretty much 4 or 5 of the offensive linemen. So all right, so now we're gonna go to Tage's guy.
Sorry, remember my note issue? There you go. Malachi Lawrence got it. Give me a second. All right. Let me find it. Okay, so he's got an interesting story. So he was a 5'7" freshman in high school. 5'7" freshman running back in high school who grew to 6'2" as a sophomore, and then he transitioned to linebacker DN, tight end. One of 9 children. Also another cool fact. You know those boys from big families, man. They could take some beatings. Everyone's on this show, especially everyone's like, yeah, I got you.
Yes, sir.
He's not someone I gravitated to right away. Because I'm not one of those like Spags only guys. I think mostly because I used to be like that. I used to have like a grid of the Spags layout, exactly what he needs. And then we started drafting guys that weren't in that. I'm like, I'm done with this. They're not going to abide by this. What the hell should I? So I just looked at anyone because I think at this point, we're beggars and we're not choosers and we just need juice off the edge. Okay. So I'm not going to, it's like if you're single and you can't find a date, okay? You're not going on these sites like nitpicking at every single person you come across. Like, just get a date, okay? That's kind of like how we are with pass rush. Like, we shouldn't be turning down everyone that comes around us, because we don't like their blush or their eyebrows or their hair or their butt, or like across the board. Like, you know what? Beggars can't be choosers in that regard. So I'm like, we just need juice. We need pass rush juice. But he has a little of both. Like, he does kind of have the Spagsy build. He's 6'4.5". He's 253. He's got 34-inch arms. He was incredibly athletic in the combine, and it translates to the tape. More of like a wide-aligned rusher. Put him on an island, watch him go. A lot of analysts out there just say he'll probably, as good as he was in his last year, he'll probably be a better pro. He's got a lot of what you want, right? He did have like a late maturity, but he's got good hand usage, he's got good speed, got good counters. Just a really good pass rush specialist who could just develop into a run edge defender. Because I think that was his biggest problem, but he's shown improvement in his last year for sure. He can continue to do that. The biggest worry for him, and what a lot of people have in this draft, look, everyone's got negative parts, or else you'd be like the top 5 pick, especially in this draft of all years. He is a late bloomer. He is more so like a 1-year production guy, but he is still developing. I would put him in that edge rotation category for us with a really high future ceiling. I wouldn't say he's a flat out like 95% snap DN guy for us. I don't think he would be off the bat. I don't think there are many guys in this draft that would be, especially after the first like 10 picks. So I do think he's got a really high ceiling. I do think he can develop into that. I think while he's giving us rotational snaps, I think he'd be like a 5 to 7 sack guy in his first year, in a rotational manner. And his comps are Boye Mafe and Josh Sweat, which is an interesting mix there. But yeah, I liked him, and I think he's another guy who since the whole draft process is so crazy. You watch a guy available, and you just see in your mock drafts too, because a lot of them change their rankings within your mock draft simulator. You'll see him available. He was available in the 3rd round, like the 4th round, I think, even at one point. And then the 3rd round, and then the 2nd round, and then now you're seeing him. People are taking him like around 20, top 25. He's going high now because look, pass rush is pass rush, and you got guys getting paid $50 million to do it.
Yeah.
And he's 6'5", he's 250, he's got 34-inch arms, and he uses it. You watch some tapes from him. He's got the cross chop, he's got a ghost move, and his arms are so long. He's got the one where he just got one arm, man, just holding that tackle out there with that one arm, and then just smack him with the other arm. He can do a lot of things with that, and I think he's just only growing from here.
Yeah, Malachi Lawrence, man, I fell in love with this guy. I told you, man, I watched his film, I watched his tape, and he is absolutely a premier pass rusher. Kind of does it all. And I know it's size 6'4", 253, but he has a will to get things done. He has like that motor. He has like this tenacity about him when he plays. And so it jumps off the screen. And I'm telling you what, when I watch this guy, I'm sitting there thinking like, this is right here is a football player. And so, UCF, man, it's not chopped liver playing down there, man. But when you watch him, he's got great hands. He's got great speed. He can get around the edge. He's a really good football guy. He just is. And so could he be that starter for, like you said, 90% of the time? I don't know. It depends on what team he's on. I'll say that, and what scheme you kind of run it.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But, maybe for us, yeah, part of that rotational piece. I do believe he is one of those guys, can definitely get close to 9, almost double-digit sacks. He has that ability about him that he can just go off. He just go off in games. So Malachi Lawrence, man, is a guy that I've seen as far as premier pass rusher. He is probably that second tier guys when I was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, he's definitely that second tier pass rusher that I was talking about. So I love Malachi Lawrence. I do.
And the interesting thing about him is that he's kind of in a weird, in that tier you have different like sub tiers, right? That second tier's got like the edge setting power rushers, which are like TJ Parker, Zion Young. Am I forgetting one? And then you have the other guys, which are kind of the one-dimensional, just like designated pass rushers, right? More like Cassius Howell, kind of R. Mason Thomas is kind of in that. Even though he's shown the ability to be a better run defender, especially this year, I still think he's more of a designated pass rusher. But then you kind of have the other two guys in that whole tier. I think would be Messidor. And I think you'd have Lawrence right there. Yeah. I think those guys are kind of like the happy medium between it all. They're not dominant run edge setters, but they're not one-dimensional rushers. They can give you the juice, but also not be complete liabilities against the run. Messidor is really good against the run. He was a nose tackle at one point. But like I still put both those guys kind of closer into like the tweener area between all those things. So I think if we want a guy who's got that juice, who's got that real life, but at the same time, we're not going, oh man, but can he play against the run? I mean, yeah, you're asking yourself that for him. You're asking yourself that for Howell. But if you're going to put money on the table of like who's going to develop into a more of a full-time player between like a Howell and then between like a Lawrence, I think you're putting that money on Lawrence because I think he'll be serviceable against the run way earlier before Howell will. And Howell maybe never will, actually.
Yeah.
And I think their PFF grades, I think Howell's like in the maybe high 40s as far as percentage wise against run stop grades. And Malachi was 66 in run stop this year. So that's a huge difference there, especially when you get in the same range.
Go ahead.
What were you saying, JD?
I was going to say it says 253, man, but he plays bigger than that. He does. You just
a lot of guys lost weight so they could run faster at the combine.
Yeah. Yeah.
They lose an extra like 5-10 pounds. Bane was a lot lighter at the combine. Bane's playing weight was like 15, 20 pounds more than his combine weight.
Mm-hmm.
Here was like 250 at the combine.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
I don't think he even ran a 40 either. Like, I don't know why you lost that weight, but you're not even running. What the hell are you doing?
Look, it's the look. I'm telling man, you take your shirt. Look, we in our skivvies. When they look at you, that's what you are. You little grays in your shorts, and they looking at you. You won't look the part. So but
that part I want you to look like is someone who's going to hold up against double teams. Okay, so I'd rather not see a 6-pack. I'd rather see a giant out there if I'm looking for a guy who might hold up double teams.
So I'm gonna give you one. So while we're here's a quick little combine thing. So when I'm in my skivvies, the scouts are going around and looking at you. They measuring you and stuff, right? And I remember one guy was looking at me. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about." Like it just, hey man, like yo,
right?
Like a piece of meat. Yeah, man,
yeah.
We straight. He's like, yeah. He's like,
yeah, man, be careful. Yeah, jeez, calm down.
Right? Yeah, calm down.
Calm down. Man,
it was crazy. It was crazy.
Don't leave me in a room with him.
Now, they yelling it all out too. He's over here, hands, 9 3/4 and length, and it's wild. It's wild.
I picture a guy with a big cigar going, yeah. That's what we want. That's what we need. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Susan says, I say 6-pack.
Of course.
The numbers I saw from Lawrence, his pass rush win rate 90.2 overall. On true pass sets, 34.7%, and just true drop back pressure rate, 13.2%. So he's like top 10 in like every category when it comes to pass rush. So like we talk about like you said, like this is a guy who would really get our urge of wanting a pass rusher. Like this would be it, because we just haven't had a guy who could do that. So this would be be awesome.
I think we all know who we want at 9. So there's no debating that. But if you can't, for whatever reason happens to the draft, there are guys you can, hang your hat on at 29. You may have to maybe make a move to make sure you get one, which I'm sure if Veach misses Bane at 9 or Bailey at 9, he might get a little impatient at 29 and make sure he gets the next tier, the best of the crop, the next tier.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. All right, we're going to go to the defensive back room. So with my first prospect of the night, I got Will Lee III. He's an early day 3 target. So I kind of went more so the day 3 guys today, just because I don't think I've done a lot of day 3 guys, and I want to make sure I have some rooting interest going into day 3 of some of my prospects out there. He's a day 3 guy, probably around pick 74 maybe, but 6'1", 190 pounds. He offers length, elite man coverage ability, and just an aggressive press corner, and a guy who could potentially come in and be a day 1 contributor. We're talking about a day 3 guy who can come in and be a day 1 contributor. I mean, like, we talk about defensive backs and our ability to find these guys in the secondary. There's a guy who could come in on day 3 and you could say, oh man, like he's week 1, he's out there and looking good. Or a guy like during preseason, like he's out there with the starters and like the first snaps of the first quarter in a preseason game. But just overall about him, system fit. He excels in press man coverage, mirror receivers, and uses long arms to disrupt timing at the line of scrimmage. Physicality, 6'1", long arms, just a prototypical type of guy that we want on the boundary. Often left on an island at Texas A&M. He's considered a sleeper prospect by a lot of the draft experts out there. Looking at some of his numbers, held opponents to a 47.2 catch percentage rate in 2024, and then a 54.2 percentage in 2025. Athletic ability, 42-inch vert, which is one of the higher ones for the cornerbacks at this combine. Evaluators describe him as a highly competitive with a sticky nature in coverage and active as far as disrupting playing styles to receivers. But the one key area of development is, while he's a great coverage cornerback and a great man-to-man, When it comes to run support, that's where he takes a big drop off, a big fall off. So of a lot of the sticky man type of cornerbacks in this draft, while he's great, is one of the best as far as a man up corner, he takes a big drop off when it comes to run support and consistency as far as tackling, as far as stopping the run. Now, that's something that I think can be coached. It's more of a will and want to type of thing. I think Dave Merritt can get the best out of him as far as that. But yeah, if you look at his grades, you'll see high in pass in his pass coverage when it comes to run support. It takes a big fall off and dip there. But I think he's got the length, he's got the athletic ability, he's got the measurables. And we talk about having long, lengthy cornerbacks. Sure, there's plenty of them you can get within rounds 1 and 2. But if we say, hey, like we're focusing on D-line, we're focusing on maybe a receiver, then you have to wait till day 3. And this is a guy who really jumps off the page there. And every mock draft I did, he was there. And then like my day 3 picks, I was like, okay, let's do a little bit of research on him. When I looked at a lot about him, I was, man, I really like this guy. So yeah, Will Lee is the guy that I think that we could definitely find as a day 3 gem for us on Saturday. So what do you guys think about Will Lee III and how he fits in Kansas City?
Go ahead, Tage.
Love Will Lee. He's been on my radar for a while. I know who the Chiefs like at cornerback, the type, and he fits that type to a T. A lot of the knocks on him and the positives really remind me of Noah Williams as far as extremely physical, not top end, like really fast, which as corners can really get you knocked down. If guys were like, a tenth of a second faster, they could be like almost like 30 picks higher as a cornerback. It's long speed so important for corner, but if you get the right guy in the right system, I don't think it matters as much. And he's also got like, I think I read he has like almost 33-inch arms. Like they're 32 3/4. Is that right?
Yeah, we have it on the chart here. Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. That you can offset that from the speed because of that. Like you don't. I'm not saying it's a substitution for it, but it definitely helps in that regard. Just a straight up man cover. I love that he's physical. How physical he is. He can even go off coverage in some alignments. But just when you have incredibly long arms, 4.52 is not. It's not bad. It's not a bad 40 by any means. He's got 1,800 snaps the last 3 seasons. He's just a really, really experienced, long, physical, technical, controlled cornerback. I think that fits our system. I'd love him in day. If he gets day 3, I'd be ecstatic. That's the reason why you don't have to go cornerback early. Guys like this. You get 2 of these guys. You get 2 of these type guys. You hit one of them, you're fine.
Yeah, him being a physical guy, I think like if he was like a finesse cornerback and he runs a 4.5, then I'd say it's a problem. But
yeah,
I mean, like he's knocking you off right out the gate, and he's already if you're a 4.2 a 40 receiver already, you're kind of playing having to play catch up with the guy who's like kind of like man you up at the line. But if he was a finesse cornerback, I'd say that's 4.5 as a finesse guy. But yeah.
Yeah, I try to remember his film, man. From what I remember, he was a pretty good corner. I'm listening to you all. I mean, shoot, I agree. You get a guy like this with Dave and Spags. I mean, you can just turn this guy into a monster. And so I think that's what you try to do is get somebody that you can mold into what you want them to be and what you want them to do. And so a guy like this that you can definitely win with. And so now I like, from what I last seen of him, it's been a few weeks since the last time I seen his film and looked at him. But yeah, I think it'd be a good pick.
What do you make of the deficiencies there? Because I get the cornerbacks, the usually the elite ones, right, are the ones who can come up and run support, like the McDuffies, right, guys getting picked in the teens. Yeah. What do you make of that being like his like knock, right? Like he's a great man up cornerback, but a knock being coming up and run defense. Where does that is that something that can be coached into a player?
You would hope not, but not really, man. Sometimes guys just turn it down. You don't want to see guys turn it down because what happens in the NFL is shoot, a good running back will step right over your chest and take it all the way to the house. And that's what you don't want to see. If you're supposed to be like close to that last line of defense, you can't be turning things down. You got to be willing to do it. You got to be able to throw your head in there, throw your shoulder, and make a tackle. At least get guys around you to rally. At least to make it a group tackle, at least something like that. But yeah, man, I just you're gonna have guys like that at corner, and you know it. They're gonna be the worst cycles on the field. You just hate for them to talk about your guy being at one. You know what I'm saying? You know what he'll be doing what everybody else is talking about, though. So
And I think the weirdest thing is that the 16% missed tackle rate and him not being a great run supporter, it's very odd considering how physical he is at the line with receivers, how physical he is, how handsy he is, and his arm length. Usually you see high missed tackle rates and run stopping deficiencies from a guy's length. But dude, he has longer arms than half the DNs in this draft, half the D tackles in this draft. Like he should actually, from his makeup, he should be a really good run defender, which is kind of interesting how he's not. But he is slight though.
yeah, he's light, man.
6'1", 6'2", and 189. It's pretty thin. So he needs a little more. He needs to go out with Chris Jones and Gelati, and maybe Pennell can make a visit and they can go out and get in some Chipotle, some double stack Chipotle.
That's like run 470 and Taze, he did that too. You don't want to do it. Let him. I tell you, have all the other guys rally around you. Okay, you just stay in front of dudes long enough so everybody can get around and rally and to make a tackle. But yeah, he's thin. I mean, 6'2", 189, man. He's thin. You can see him shoulders right there, man. Them suckers get broke up. And he's done felt that before. He's done made a tackle at some point in his life, his career, that shook his bones. And he's just like, yeah, that's not what I do.
Yeah, he's got that six-pack, though. You got that six-pack.
Yeah,
to show off.
Let's do it.
Hey, if he does that well enough, you come a ball hawk, you be sticky in coverage, you play man the way that Spags wants you to play man, I'll take a slight deficiency at run tackling. If you do all that well, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, Cal said, let's practice and let's tackle. You don't practice tackling in practice. You're not doing that. You just, when you get to the NFL, either you got it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really what it is. And coach will be like, hey, man, put your head in there and go make the tackle. And I tell you what, what's going to get a guy to make tackles is shaming him. You put this sucker on film and it happens in a meeting, in a game, he'll be shamed into making tackles. Trust me. And ain't no more motivation than that bench. I tell you what, you don't go in and stick your head in and make that tackle, and somebody see him run down the field, that'd get him. That'd switch it up.
I'm also surprised he's not faster than that too, because A, he's light, and B, he's explosive. Like what I read, he had a 42-inch vertical and 11 broad jump. Like that's dude, he's explosive, man. So I mean, maybe he's just the long speed's not as good, but maybe it's just short speed is just better, which I'm okay with on a press coverage.
Yeah, he was a 90+ percentile in both the broad and the vert. So yeah, but he's got the athletic ability. I mean, it's just like it's also too coaching, right? And like, you're not going to be taught to tackle. You either have or you don't. But as far as that mentality, I think Dave Merrick can put that will and want to mentality to him. I mean, just based on the stories you heard when Knowles was on the show. Like, I mean, I never looked at Kevin Knowles' deficiencies coming out of college, but like whatever it was, he came to Kansas City and like, I mean, he looks like a dude who's ready to kind of take on a bigger role this year. So like, I feel like they can definitely take a guy with this talent, this measurables, and do something with him.
The quiet storm.
Yes,
and Noah Williams' 40 time was 4.5 flat. So
yeah,
there.
I remember that. Yeah, and a physical guy too as well.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna stay with the secondary, and JD himself another one.
Yes, sir. So we're talking about physical corners. Okay, this is a guy that loves to come up and make a tackle. When I watched his film, watched his tape, he was very impressive. You could tell he's just an intelligent player. He understands man, he understands zone. 5'10", 185 is where he's at. So he's actually been described as a skinny Trent McDuffie. Okay.
Yeah.
They said, and when you watch him, he loves to compete. He loves to compete. And, when you see him against, wide receivers coming out, he's right there in the hip pocket. You can just tell like he's just a high IQ football player. He really is. He's at Duke, so he's not an idiot for sure. But you could just tell like he's one of those guys that he's always challenged himself to get better. And it doesn't matter who's out there on the field as a wide receiver, man. He wants that guy. Now, here's another thing. He is somebody that can be your typical slot corner. Okay. The Chiefs have not had a true slot corner. I mean, Trent you could use him out, but Trent had to be on the outside. But a true slot corner, Chandler Rivers is that guy. Okay. And look, I know I'm tired of seeing our safeties cover slot guys. I don't want to see it anymore. I get downs can be they got it. I want to see a true slot corner come in and lock that slot up. Okay. And Chandler Rivers is one of those guys that is fluid enough to move around, that can run with any slot that they got out here. Okay. And so I think he'd be a great fit for us. And the thing is, he can play outside. He's got that tenacity.
Yeah, he can.
That's what he's been doing. That's where he's been. He's been successful. So, but I said if we want to move him inside like Christian Fulton, he's out there. This guy right here could be the guy. He really can. And then after the contract, whatever happens with Christian Fulton or not, this dude right here, man, he could be the guy. I'm telling you, man, he's got the mindset that Dave and those guys would just really invest in to be your starter. And so I like Chandler Rivers a lot. And I think he's a day two guy. He's like one of those other corners that is kind of in that range of like, hey, man, we don't have to go get a guy because this guy is right here. And you could see him like coming up. It's like, do we take a chance on him? And I think he's one of those guys you can really take a chance on.
Yeah, the McDuffie comparison, you definitely see that in in the times where McDuffie first came on the scene when he was playing in the slot for us. I think he was second or first in pressures from the cornerbacks. He's an elite blitzer. That's also we talk about Will Lee not being good against the run. Like he is the guy who can do both, and so that's a huge thing for him. Physical. Yeah, I definitely saw the McDuffie when you watch his highlights for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's going to last longer than that. I think people are going to be obsessed with his lack of size. He's like 5'9.5", 5'10". I think people are going to be. I think he'll last. That's great. I would totally love him to last as long as possible. Stick around. Party at the beginning, baby. I think it's really funny. You said the Trent McDuffie thing that stuck out in my mind too. But yeah, I really think he's kind of like a poor man's like Pawns for me. And I think not that much poorer, but like just Pawns is I think pretty much solidified day two. But I think if you miss out on a Pawns and you want that kind of guy on your team, I think that one of the next guys you'll flock to is Rivers, just because I think he has the short area quickness, a heady player, good route recognition, not afraid to get his head in there, not afraid to get into the scuffle. And one of those guys who doesn't have the size that you look for on the outside, but he played so well on the outside that I think you try him there first. You don't even move him the slot right away. I think he's earned the right to be like, all right, we're going to put you. I'd say with Pawns, like everyone's like, oh, Pawns, you have to move inside. Pawns dominated outside for years. Okay. Like you when a guy does that at a high level, you play him at his natural position. If he fails at it, then you pivot, but you don't pivot before you see him fail at it.
No, I was saying that. No, yeah, he's a starting.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yes, as a fallback, like if he is too small, he just can't play on the outside. I think you have a 8-year starter at slot. Like when you have a guy whose floor is That's why I always like those tackles on the offensive side who at worst you're getting like an 8-year starter at guard. Oh, okay. Like that's his floor. So like when you have a guy whose floor is longtime starter at slot, and then, even then I think you could still play him outside sometimes. He might just not be a full-time outside corner. Another comp for him was Kenny Moore. That was another comp for him. I also like that too, but I think he's a complete player. I would love Rivers. And again, Rivers is another example. This draft has so many cornerbacks for all different kinds of flavors. It's just another reason why you don't have to go corner early. There's just so many guys out there. And there's so many guys that just slip every year because guys just fall through the cracks, man. It just happens. Like, guys, there's only so many cornerbacks you can have. I know everyone's always looking for cornerbacks. Like there's no shortage of it, but I just think guys might not be the exact makeup of what a team wants, and they just slip through the cracks. And you can find your starter in like anywhere from like a 3 to 5th, 3 to 6th round nowadays. It's pretty crazy.
Well, he's a guy, regardless of where he goes, I'm gonna keep my eye on him where he is in the league. He's that type of guy, a player to me. And I'm just like, man, I'm gonna see what this Rivers guy is doing right now. So hopefully he's here with the Chiefs, and I don't have to look too hard and knowing where he's at. So he'll be great. He'll be great for us. He really would.
That's one thing about these prospect shows, JD. Even when we don't end up getting them, like it's fun when you're a couple years from now, you're watching like Red Zone channel or like watching a random game or when they play the Chiefs and they make a play. You're like, man, I knew that guy was going to be good, man. I knew that guy was going to be good, man. It was obvious. It was so obvious. I wasn't Dunstradamus here. It was obvious he was a player. He was an NFL player. You can see him out there. He's an NFL player, man. There's just some guys you can look at. You're like, he's an NFL player. Yeah. Like, how good he is, I don't know. He is a long-time starter in the NFL. You know what an NFL player looks like.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why, like whenever Dobbs or Tank Dell before his injury did anything, JD would just say. And then last year, Tez Johnson, we were sending Tez Johnson clips to each other every time he was doing something with Tampa.
Yeah. Hey, look, see.
Yep.
But yeah, his I was looking at Rivers' PFF grades. 90.7 PFF overall defensive grade, 80.9 coverage grade. And yeah, just overall, like his
90.7, I think was last year, 2024, right?
2024, yeah, 2024 grades, yeah.
So he was even better in 2024, which is crazy.
2025, he dropped a little bit. His 79.2 overall grade. So from what I read was his senior year, actually, it hurt his draft stock a little bit, but I mean, obviously, sporting an 80 or a 79 overall grade is still pretty good. So if you're in that 80 to 90 range, okay, that's fine.
As a floor, yeah, great.
Yeah, seriously. All right, we're going to go to Tage's second guy, Justin Jefferson, not to be confused with Justin Jefferson on the Minnesota Vikings, the linebacker from Alabama.
Yeah, so he is someone, if you guys do your PFF mock simulators, you have to find him, okay? He's a couple pages back. So he's not someone that is screaming on there. I think he's way better than what the PFF list has him at. But okay, 6 foot, 223. You're like, oh man, he's not. He's kind of small, right? Mm-hmm. Dude, you watch him play, you have no idea he's that size. And part of it is he has 32-inch arms and 10-inch hands. That's a build if I've ever seen one. 6 foot, 223 and 32-inch arms, 10-inch hands, and he can hit and he flies. You watch him play. He ran a 4.54, a 38.5 vert, 10.5 broad. I think he looks way more athletic and faster out there when you watch him. He flies. It's like he knows where he's going. He can cover. Half his snaps were in coverage. 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles last year. I mean, and if you have size concerns about him, I forgot who was like going on about this. He was tired of all the negatives. He's only I think 10 pounds less than Rodriguez. So it's like if no one has questions about him going in the second round or late first, then I don't see what the big deal about Jefferson going. He's not overmatched. He takes on blockers. He's strong, just good open field movement, good open field tackling. Played a lot of overhang, halfway rolls, and base sets. He can hit a gap. He can hit I've seen him blitz the A gap. I've seen him blitz around the corner. I think he'd be a great like 6th, 7th round guy to grab. He can play special teams. You can build him up. He projects as a will, like a 4-3 oriented defense, or he can just run, chase, cover, and take him down, right? But he's a day 3 prospect, anywhere from the 5th to 7th round. I would love to get him in that range.
Man, when I used to see him play, I always thought he was an anomaly. He just looked like weird being out there with his size. I'm just like, who is this guy? Like, he just didn't fit like the typical linebacker that you would see. And so he would always, because he like wearing 10, I was just like, man, who is this dude they keep out there? And it was just, it was him. He played all over the field. He played all over the field. That's the thing about it. When you turn on the tape and you watch him in a game, he's just always there. He's always around. He's just like the energy body. What's it? The energy bunny that could just never quit. That's what he was.
Energizer Bunny.
Energizer Bunny. Yeah, he's just all over the place. So he is kind of very peculiar guy. Let me put it that way. But he's one of those guys that can give you the type of energy that you need on a football field. I'm sure special teams wise would do everything possible. Get him out there on the field, man. He'll just keep showing up. He'll just keep showing up. And he probably has a chip on the shoulder, like you said, Tage, being 6 foot, probably, dispelling all the rumors like he can't do it. I mean, 6 foot, 223, man. He's probably thinking like, oh yeah, they don't believe in me. And he just goes to Alabama. He just keeps showing up. Same thing here. Now I think he'd be a good pick. He'd be one of those guys that'd be very surprising.
I think he'd be a great Leo replacement too at a 6th round pick, because he does a little of those. He can run stuff. He can blitz. He can just go shoot up the gap in a delayed blitz. Like, he can do some of those things, and he's not going to be that early of a pick. So it's a great place to do that. Especially, I mean, if I get the Chiefs mentality, they're like, well, we're not going to spend a lot of money on Leo. He didn't play a lot, so it'd be stupid for us to pay him a lot of money for like a part-time role. But 6th round linebacker, that's fine for a part-time role if you want to build up to that and not have the pressure of him replacing him all one. But I just think it'd be a good replacement for what we want, what we need, and not have to spend a lot of money for it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And talk about how, like, just in the context of where JD was saying, he's tired of seeing safeties have to guard receivers. Well, people talk about our coverage linebacking problems that we had. Well, you stick a guy like this on a running back. People say they miss Willie Gay to guard the running backs out of the backfield, or even guarding tight ends. I mean, he's versatile enough where he can do that. And also, too, you're getting him in the 6th or 7th round, a guy who can kind of do it all, like a Swiss Army knife linebacker who can cover. I mean, his pass coverage grade was at 87.2 last year. He led all SEC linebackers. We're not talking about, some chump change. We're talking about SEC. Yeah, I mean, he'd be phenomenal. As far when I saw that he was a 6th or 7th, I was like, no way. There's no way he's a day 3 guy. It's size.
He gets covered up a little bit in games, against the run. You could tell, like, when he starts trying to sift through all the mess, is where he kind of you kind of lose it a bit, and I mean, shoot.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have deficiencies again. Like, you're going to the 6th, 7th round, you have issues, but when you start going over the positives and negatives, you're like, that's not a 6th, 7th round player. That's just not, especially in kind of like a weaker draft than a average draft. It's 6th, 7th round guy. That's not what it sounds like. And I'm sorry, but this is the kind of draft where you don't have to take all these outliers as seriously as they come. Like short arms, this. I mean, in a great draft, you have 10, 15 guys with zero negative loose threads or outliers to them. This draft, you maybe have like 5 to 7 of them before you start getting to the guys that are like, yeah, but he has this, but he has that. So to drop a guy down because he's like 7 pounds less than your line is in the sand about drafting someone earlier, I just think it's a no-brainer to take a shot at him like late in the draft. I mean, you don't lose that much taking him at 210, or pick 210.
Yeah, I know. We got a lot of Alabama Chief fans in the chat. Kyle Harrison, Aaron Rose. Everyone's saying that he was Wishy Hall. They're all saying that he was better when he was on the field. He was one of those guys who stood out to you.
Always around. Yeah, he was always just around, man.
His teammate is higher projected than he is by like 3 rounds, but I'd prefer him over Lawson. Right? Is that his name? Lawson, the other Alabama. Yeah. I think I'd take him over Lawson. I think certain guys are better college players. Certain guys project better as NFL players. He's just a gamer, man. Especially when you factor in the rounds. I'll take him in the 5th or 6th before I would take Lawson in the 3rd. I'd rather give me that trade off any day of the week.
Yeah, Kyle Harrison points out that he had a better 3-cone than the Duke cornerback we just looked at, Chandler Rivers. I mean, but he's also, if you look at his 3-cone, he's like in the 90 plus percentile when it comes to that.
Yeah. He's 6'2", 223. He's not a heavy linebacker, so I mean, he better have a good 3-cone and better have some good numbers when you're that light.
Sure. Yeah, right.
Because that's a small linebacker. There's a reason why he is dropping to the 6th round. So
is he 6'2"?
No, he's 6 foot.
I said 6'2", 223.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sorry.
I was saying, the draft buzz got his height wrong. Then that's a 2-inch difference. 2 inches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If he was,
it's a big deal these days.
Dude, if he was 6'2", like 230, he'd probably be like a second or third round pick.
Yeah. How tall is Rodriguez? What is he? 6'3"?
I don't even think. I want to say 6'1". Is he 6'3"?
I think he's taller than 6'1", I think. I think he's like 6'3".
6'1".
Yeah.
6'1"? Rodriguez is 6'1"?
6'1", yeah.
Wow.
6'1", 230. I mean, he's 1 inch shorter and 10 pounds lighter than Rodriguez. Rodriguez is going. I'm not taking anything away from Rodriguez. Rodriguez is a baller. He's awesome. He's going to be a good NFL player. Yeah. But I'm not taking anything away by saying this guy shouldn't be going 5 rounds later than him. I mean, like it's crazy.
You never know, though. I mean, like we talked about earlier, or I think last week, with how teams have certain grades on guys, and this draft is not pretty cut and dry as to who's like. I mean, every team's going to have their own kind of like scope on the whole thing. He's a guy. While experts say it's for 6th or 7th round, he could be a 3rd and 4th round kind of guy.
Totally.
And the thing is, like going back to what do you want him to do, right? What are you getting him for? And that's the thing. So, is it going to be the run stopper, or is it going to be, just only on passing downs? You get him out there because he could be a liability in the run game. I mean, shoot, like I said, when he was playing down there, you get lost in a little bit of that mess.
And it's a stacked linebacker class. It's a really good linebacker class.
Yeah. So.
All right, now we're going to go to edge rush here to Max Llewellyn. So talk about a guy, another day 3 guy here, but I mean, he's projecting as a day 3 guy. He could go earlier than that, but I think he's pretty cemented as that 4th, 5th round kind of guy. Llewellyn, sophisticated pass rusher, one of the best inside spin moves in the class by a lot of the draft experts are saying so. Also effectively uses his hand swipes, swims, and cross chops to manipulate offensive linemen. A really good toolkit. His stat line, efficiency-wise, so this was his first year as a full-time starter. He generated 41 total pressures, 6 sacks, 10 hits, 25 hurries on 507 defensive snaps. He had a PFF pass rush grade of 87.2, ranked 40th out of over 850 qualified edge rushers. Logged a 12.5 true pressure rate, which ranked 15th overall in the 2026 draft class. Just measurable, 6'5", 260. He does fit the mold of a Spags guy, as people like to point out. But yeah, he's a relentless grinder kind of guy, relentless kind of a pass rusher. I would say obviously we want a guy who's like going to come in and just wreak havoc. He's a pass rush specialist, but he's also kind of like a nonstop motor type of guy. So you'd have, if you were to draft him, you have 2 Carl Loftuses kind of deal. I mean, the only thing is he's not as good of a run stuffing type of guy. I think he had one of like the pretty bottom of the. I know Taser, you're big miss tackle rate. He had a pretty bad miss tackle rate. I think about around like 34.
35% almost.
Yeah, 35% missed tackle rate.
That's high.
And that's not D tackle, it's a D end who's having to stop them.
What was it?
35%.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So this guy you're going to have him in there. He's a pass rush specialist. He's a guy you're going to have in there for that only. But a subpar run defender, which they say some of these experts say he lacks the size. I mean, I don't really see them. I mean, 6'5", 260. I don't really see the lacking of size.
What was his sorry, I don't see I can't see that screen right now. What's his arm length? What was his arm length?
Arm length 32 1/4.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not Banish.
No, it's not. I mean, so they say he lacks the size, lower body strength, and also hip stiffness is one of the big things there. As far as what Bane does have is that bend around the corner. He doesn't really have much of the bend, which not many have the Bane bend. But the size, which I still don't get. We're talking about a 6'5", 260. I mean, that's one thing he does have, which I don't really understand. But the missed tackle rate as far as being a run defender, that's something he's going to need to work on. JD, is that something that can be coached? I mean, it's pretty bad, but
it's the change of direction, man. Starting to stop him. Like, you can be out of control going somewhere, right? You just be out of control. I think it's probably part of the problem is he just doesn't have a quick twitch, stop and control and make a tackle. But you are absolutely right. It's be like Kalafkas is better than him, but it's a high motor guy. He's going to be coming, and he's a dude that's going to fight you the entire game. You just know that. He's just not going to stop. But I like his relentless spirit. I do. He's a disruptor. He plays really well. But like he said, what was it, 30-something%?
35% missed tackle rate.
Jeez. Now, now I'll tell you, this would be I would be concerned definitely for a defensive end. Defensive tackle, you missing tackles, I get. You getting pushed on two guys at one time, but it is one guy, somebody's coming at you, you got to be able to make sure that you wrong arm, somebody pulling, somebody's trying to kick you out and stuff them in the backfield. Like, they can't just be getting around you, man. It means that when you're looking at somebody make a tackle, your feet are like in quicksand. That's what it's like. This is good. It's not good at all. So what's one coach used to say, what good is it getting back there and you ain't gonna do nothing with it? What good is it?
Yeah. I think he's a great compliment if you draft a Bane type. I think he's a good compliment for a Zion Young. I think he's a good compliment for like a TJ Parker. I think he's a good compliment for power rushers and edge setters. If you get Howell, you cannot draft. You can't have those guys.
That's right.
I almost would say you can't do that with Lawrence either. Maybe do that Messidor because Messidor is still a good edge setter. He played nose tackle. He's good at that. But I think if you get a one-dimensional pass rusher early, I think that kind of rules him out. But I think if you get a good middle-of-the-road guy or a guy who's a good edge-setting, a run defending power rusher, I think you can go him and that's throw him in your rotation. Throw him in there. That's fine. He'll get better at the run defense over time, hopefully. But you're not putting him in those spots. You're going to use him as just a pin his ears back and pull a spin move on someone in the third quarter where he's not expecting it. He loves that spin move, man. Big fan. He does that more than Dwight Freeney does. He loves that spin move.
I've seen, and this is funny. It's like, I think we've talked about the stereotypes when it comes to like edge rushers, like the high motors, like the good pass rushing, like white, like edge rush guys who say high motor, he's a grinder. And like back in the day, used to be Jared Allen. He's got a little Jared Allen in him. Nowadays, they say he's got a little Max Crosby in him. He's got a Max Crosby hutch in him. And like, sure, I mean, like he's 6'6" and he's white, but like that I always see that like that whole high motor thing with it's always with these types of guys. But yeah, I've seen Max Crosby, like a very poor man's version of Max Crosby, for Max Llewellyn. And obviously, yeah, poor man's Max Crosby. Sign me up all day long with that and talk around 5 or 6. But yeah, I if we draft Bain at number 9 and they wait till like day 3 to draft like another edge rusher and it's a guy like him, sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, Crosby's draft projection was 6th round coming out.
Oh yeah, day 3 guy. He was a gem.
Yeah, he was a gem, and Crosby.
Oh yeah.
And they thought he was good and good size, but it was all projection at that point. It was all potential. He wasn't producing like that on the field. So, you could make an argument that Max Llewellyn has more college showing on the field than Crosby did.
Well, and also, I mean, he plays in the Big Ten, so like he was playing against Big Ten, where Crosby's from Eastern Michigan, so he's playing in the MAC. So I mean, just like different levels that he was going against at the time. But yeah, so day 3, keep an eye on this guy, and also too, Iowa guy, middle of the country. You know how our scouts are kind of like scattered all throughout the Midwest area. This is a total type of guy that our scouts have seen a lot of Max Llewellyn.
Yeah, he's on their radar.
For sure. All right. So, JD, I know you're dying to hear this. Your last prospect of the 2026 draft process.
Ooh, yeah, then he's a good one. This is a good one. I'm going to end with a good one. Right? Nadame Tucker from Western Michigan. This guy right here, you can see him 6'2", 247, kind of undersized, kind of edge, but this guy is a pass rusher. I'm telling you, man, he's got a mixed bag of moods, quickness, hands. He's got an incredible inside move on tackles that he does all the time. He just beats them with the inside move. But I've seen him leap to quarterbacks. He runs them down from the backside. You talking about a high motor, but not only just high motor, but high production guy. This is it right here. You see right here is 14.5 sacks is what this man had. Okay. And he has bend. He has hips. He has it. Like I said, he has everything at his disposal that he needs because he's a true pass rusher. He does a good job against the run, pretty decent, but they'll say same thing, kind of undersized, 6'2", 247. But I think because Western Michigan where he played, something like, okay, maybe the competition wasn't up to par like it should be. Do we, kind of striking for that? I believe this guy is going to be successful regardless of who he goes against. But when you watch him on tape, man, he's phenomenal. He is absolutely phenomenal. You could just tell like he is a pass rush specialist. That's what he just brings out every single time. A guy like this, I would love to have if you do get, like you said, a Bain or somebody else later on down the road in this draft. I would pluck him out and say, hey, man, we need this guy right here because he's another guy that's going to get you, a lot of production, probably close to 10 sacks in his first year. He's another guy just going to get better. The question is, do you put pounds on him and size or just let him just play at this 6'2", 247? I like his size where he's at right now, 6'2", 247. To me, I don't have a problem with whatsoever. Some teams might get a little hung up on that. For me, you look at him on film and on tape, man, it's a no-brainer.
The thing about him is that, like, I know we just talked about Crosby, who also came from the same conference, Eastern Michigan, also in the MAC. And he didn't put up the numbers that Nadame put up at Western Michigan. Mm-hmm. But, like, we're talking about 41% a pass rush win rate. 44.4% pass rush win rate. Wow. So pretty much one of every 2 pass reps, he was winning. How much of that is something that, like, can be obviously you're not like you always say, you're not going to get somebody who's majoring in finance when it comes to in the NFL, mm-hmm. But how much of that can carry over from the MAC to the NFL? And I'm not dogging the MAC. I'm just saying, it's not a Power 5 school, but how much can you say that can carry over to the NFL going from MAC to that?
I think a lot can because his moves are clean. And I think for him, it's just adjusting to maybe some of those guys he's going to be in front of. Speed is just one of the things. His first step and his quickness is just it's off the charts. And when you watch him play, it doesn't matter who you're going to go against. Obviously, it's going to be getting the hands on a guy like this or not. But I think a dude like this can be successful. Sometimes you have guys that go to Western Michigan for different reasons. And I mean, you just kind of find themselves. They could be late bloomers, whatever it is. But this right here, 14.5 sacks, shows me that this guy right here can play ball. He can. And I think he could be very successful in the NFL. So I think it's going to be a lot of carryover. It's just, okay, when I see the guy that I'm gauged against, then he's just another dude in a uniform.
Yeah, he transferred from Houston to Western Michigan. That was his trajectory from Houston to Western Michigan. But yeah, I mean, he's got it's whether you're in the MAC or wherever the heck you are, put up near 15 sacks and having a pass rush win rate of 44%. I mean, you're obviously good at what you do. I mean,
I think he's going to last a long time in the draft too, because he turns 26 in a couple months.
The age, yeah.
Yeah. So again, man, this draft's full of like butts. There's a lot of butts. There's a lot of but. I mean, like it's just full of them. It's a big but 26. I mean,
get you older. Pass rusher.
He's older than Karlaftis. But hey, again, he lasts a long time. At what point do you stop caring about some of the buts? You're going to stop caring about them at some point because you're like, all right, it's 5th round. Like, we want pass rush juice. He's a cheap pass rush juice for the next 4 years. Yeah, sure. Right. I mean, that's it. At that point, yeah, he's 26 to 30. You're going to have him for cheap. So he's basically like a really cheap free agency signing for a cheap 4-year deal for like $1.5 million a season. So sure, like do it. Like, the reward's going to outweigh the risk exponentially at that point. So again, I think, but I do agree with what you said, JD. Similar to our conversation about Llewellyn, I think you're drafting him based on who else you got at the end earlier in that draft, right? Or if the Chiefs are only looking for a designated pass rusher and they're like, let's just grab 2 of them, kind of like what we talked about cornerbacks. If one of them hits, boom, you got a cheap 8 to 10 sack guy for the next 5 or 4 years, right? So maybe they do that instead. Maybe they're like, we just want a guy with juice. We're going to get 2 guys with jacked up juice, and hopefully one of them turns loose. That's it. Or you get one guy with a good middle blend, and then this kind of guy. So again, like the whole choose your own adventure. There's a lot of different ways you can go here.
Yeah, I was gonna say find me another guy that played at like Western Michigan, had 14.5 sacks, and then just didn't do anything in the NFL. I mean, I'm curious, if there's somebody like that that's out here. But everything I see on tape, I know Cal was like, you're not scared of everything in the red. Now when I see what he's doing out there on a football field, doesn't scare me out at all. Like I said, I think a guy like this, man, could be successful. He just needs to adjust. So,
of course, there are negatives. Again, there's a reason, but in general, you have to stop. You can't nitpick guys in the 5th, 6th round the way you nitpick guys in like the 1st, 2nd round. That's just not. It's not fair because they don't have the same expectations. They're not making the same money. You know what I mean? So it's a different expectation for Cassius Howell than I'm going to have for Tucker, right? So I mean, you're getting him 3-4 rounds later for a reason, and it's because he is going to turn 26 soon. He only played 161 snaps for Houston the year before transferring. Why was he such a late bloomer? I don't know. I would actually have to look into that because I mean, a breakout in your year 25, it's sort of close. It's sort of similar to Messidor. Messidor, you can pinpoint and say that he played nose tackle. They had him moving positions every single season, pretty much, until he finally settled in a good weight and a good playing style for DN. But everyone's got some kind of story, but that's the reason why they're going as late as they are. So take the discount. It's like okay, I'll give you a good example. It's like when DoorDash messes up on your food order, right? And they mess it up sometimes they don't mess it up completely, right? They mess it up enough to get a discount back. Give me some of that money back. Okay, this isn't an $18 burger. This is more of like an $8 burger now. So give me like $10 back. Give me the discount of what this is worth. Tucker's a similar reason. You have all these amazing things in a package, but he's 26, late bloomer.
There is a reason. There is a reason for his being a late bloomer. So he didn't pick up the sport until his senior year of high school. Before that, he was a basketball player and had plans to become a police officer rather than a professional athlete. Tucker only played a single season of high school football at Teaneck High School in New Jersey because he lacked a foundation in the sport. He was viewed as a massive project and received very little recruiting interest, went to JUCO, and then from there went to Houston, and then ended up transferring to Western Michigan. So that there is a reason behind that.
Great. Even more of a reason to take a shot at him.
And for me, it's like, for people who like, I think I've had a few mock drafts where I posted online where I think I end up with 3 edge rushers and like kind of just like you just mentioned, right? Like taking 2 cornerbacks, see which one hits, right? Even if, let's say we do draft Bain at number 9, and then we go to the day 3 and we end up coming away with Tucker and Llewellyn, just for argument's sake. Why not? We have a pitiful pass rush. Let's take as many guys who can rush the quarterback. Why not? As long as you get Bain, you can do both. It could be a variety, a pass rush and you're a run stuffing guy. Why not take 2 guys? Why not take Tucker and Max Llewellyn day 3? And we're in round 6 and both those guys are there and we have multiple picks. Why not? Well, our pass rush was not good last year. We haven't had guys who can go take the quarterback.
So I'm gonna give you 3 names from the MAC: Max Crosby, James Harrison, Khalil Mack, all from the MAC. They all played in the MAC.
Yeah, great names.
Great names. These great names. We talking about Hall of Famers here, you know. So you know, it will be. I tell you what, man. I would take a chance on a guy for sure. Day 3, man, I do it in a heartbeat.
At that price point, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, JD, since you just brought up Crosby and Khalil Mack. So Tucker had 14.5 sacks at Western Michigan in the MAC this past year. Crosby's single season high at Eastern Michigan was 11. Khalil Mack's single season high was 10.5 sacks. So he outdid both those guys, and they all came from the same conference. So
he's another one right here.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, so give me Llewellyn and Tucker in day 3. I'm excited about that pass rush. I can't wait to watch preseason games.
Yeah, that'll make preseason a lot of fun.
Yeah, just they have those 2 guys just tee off on the
so they have 2 sacks in the game, and we project them to start every game their whole season now.
Yeah, just unreal expectations after that.
Totally.
All right, so we're gonna go to Taja's final prospect of the 2026 draft period.
Thad Dixon. So Bill Belichick's put up with a lot of valid criticism since he's left New England, but the man knows DBs. I'm never going to dispute that. And he plucked Dixon to be his cornerback at UNC. 10-inch hands, 31 change arms, really physical. Had a tough year with some upper body injuries this season, which I think led him to have some of the negatives that he did have this year. One was a high missed tackle rate. He missed near half the year because of it, the upper body injury. I think that had something to do with the tackling. I give him a little pass for that, but shadowed the best receiver anywhere on the field, slot, outside, can play press, can play off, really physical, really competitive. His big stat from last season, 2024, was he held Tet McMillan to like 2 catches for 8 yards. So he's one of those guys who doesn't back down. He wants to play the best receiver and wants to showcase all the time. Got some technical flaws. Okay, we're looking at a day 3 guy. So there are, again, the price point, the buts. When do they start to fade away? They start to fade away, in my opinion, in the 5th round, right? 5th round, 6th round. From there on out, like you can just, they're developmental guys that if you take a swing on them, they can hit, and you got a starting cornerback, right? That's why I want to take 2 of those guys. You take Will Lee, you take Dixon. one of those guys is going to pan out to be a good cornerback for you. Okay, you're just playing the odds there. We talked about this, I think when we were talking about cornerbacks, I brought him up then when we were doing our positional breakdowns for the Chiefs. So character concern, okay?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you guys remember this or not. 8 driving citations in North Carolina.
8? What is he? What's he doing?
8 driving citations. Reckless driving, operating without insurance, driving on a revoked license. Those are the ones I have listed right now. So, I mean, he did have some maturity concerns coming out of high school. That's, the one thing I can say is Belichick's a no-nonsense guy, right? Belichick brought him on. So in my mind, I mean, this is someone who would bench a guy and wave a guy after a fumble, all right? Pretty no-nonsense. He put up with it. I think there is hope that he can mature out of this. I think part of it, I think he needs structure. He needs a good locker room. I think he needs good influences around him. It would have been nice to have McDuffie, putting him under his wing. But again, at the price point that he is, he's not a second or third round that you swing, you're going to hurt. You're talking about 5th or 6th round. I would be okay with that investment at that point. Because again, you draft Lee, you draft a Thad Dixon or one of the other just really physical press man corners. If you miss on Dixon a couple of years, it's fine. If he hits, you got a starting cornerback.
Man. So he's coming around, man, on 2 wheels around the corner. Just there goes Thaddeus. Probably, man, Bill, man, he had googly eyes down there in North Carolina, man. He's, him and his lady, man, he wasn't really caring too much about it. He wasn't she has softened him up a whole lot.
His nickname in college was Thaddeus Driftin', okay? Let's just put it that way.
What was it actually?
No.
Pretty good.
I'm totally kidding around. That's fantastic, though. It should be, because, I mean, it sounds like what he was doing half the time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he's got a great take, man. I like him. I've always taken him toward mid to late part of the draft, always picking him up. Always. I never passed by him. And that's why I couldn't understand why he was back there. But now it makes sense. There it is.
Yeah.
Character.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, man, this kid, he's got it all. Sure, when you see him on tape, man, he looks great. So what is it? And so there it is. Yeah.
Especially if you're a pro team, he's playing a pro style defensive back. He's playing a pro ready defense, right? So I mean, he's got a leg up over a lot of guys already. So it's just like it's too bad that that's happening. But
he's gonna get a dissertation and a master class on how to play corner and doing the secondary with Bill. And Bill's just he's gonna do it anyway because that's what he loves doing. But yeah, the 8 citations. I mean, he could have racked up like 4 or 5 on just like one time, like one charge. Like, man, we're gonna hit you with this.
They probably threw one of those. They probably counts for 4 of those citations. I bet 1 pullover.
Yeah,
one pullover and a bad attitude got him like 4 or 5 of those charges, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. What about the Zachariah Branch stuff out there, man? Isn't that crazy?
It is pretty crazy, but that charge sounds like a gift to a team that wants him like the 4th round. Is what that sounds like.
Well, the thing is, you're messing with his money, and that's what I hate about it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's just so ridiculous, man. So stupid. But going back to Thaddeus, I think he's a good corner. He's a great corner, actually. He'll be great under Dave and those guys. Maybe that's what you need. Get a guy like that here, like, hey, man, look, we're gonna get you right. We're gonna get you straight. You can't do none of that mess over here. We're not gonna have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and you know what? At the end of the day, if we take them, I know we've said this a lot before, guys who did fool us again in the league, but it's because whatever due diligence and digging they've done, they think he can turn it around.
Yeah.
I saw an interesting stat from him when he was at Washington, because obviously I think most of his stuff came from Washington. Yeah, he played well at UNC this year, but I saw an interesting stat. So within a 5-game stretch in the month of September in 2024 in Washington, it was reported that he had 14 targets in single coverage. He allowed only 1 catch and 0 touchdowns, and he recorded a microscopic 9.8 passer rating allowed through a 5-game stretch to start the season out at Washington. And that's unreal. Overall completion rate allowed was 47%. Passer rating allowed was 65 by the time the season ended in 2024 at Washington. And I'll say this too, like, I know he's a Belichick guy this past year, but before Washington, right, where do we like to get guys from? Where do we always look at guys from Washington, McDuffie, Washington. We the Washington cornerback who's supposed to be like a day 3 guy. We're looking at him right now. I forget his name. Top 30.
Psylocke, Prysock, what's his name?
Yeah, I forget. But
Prysock, something like that.
But yeah, so we like Washington guys as well. So I mean, that's another. The Washington DBs over the last 5 years, they've been really good. They've really pumped these DBs out.
Prysock, I was right.
Prysock, yeah. So that's also another play too. He comes from an established DB room that we already like. So that's potential. Like the Florida State defensive lineman thing. They like Florida State D linemen. They like Washington DBs.
One of those things is a very high succession rate. One of those things is not.
Yeah, I
just want to make JD laugh.
One of those things churns out NFL players.
And the other one churns out Chiefs taking flyers on them in the middle round drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So my final guy is Zxavian Harris from Ole Miss.
Big fella.
I had to do it. I had to do it. I'm doing these mock drafts. I see this guy. I'm like, oh, Zxavian Harris. Let's see a little bit about him. 6'8", 330 pounds. He would be one of the largest defensive linemen in NFL history. Remember last year I went and got the Florida D tackle that the Buccaneers ended up picking up.
Watson.
Yeah, Watson. That's right. So I want to get my Watson of this year. This guy's. It's more of a healthy weight. I mean, he's 6'8", 330. So it's well distributed, I would say. So elite frame and physicality, massive build. 34 and 5/8 inch arms, which make him just nearly impossible for single blockers to move. He excels at stacking blockers to hold gaps, which is obviously a key requirement for Steve Spagnuolo's defense. Some interesting run stopping stats. In 2025, Harris recorded 27 run stops, ranking 6th in college football. He earned a 78 PFF run defense grade, which placed him 125th out of 880 qualified interior defenders. Now this is just let's give, we haven't talked much about Dave Toub in this whole thing. Let's give Dave Toub something that to have some fun with. Harris is a prolific kick block specialist with 6 career block kicks. He was currently 1 away from tying the all-time SEC record. So if he had needed 1 more, but obviously did not get that. But despite his size, he has experience lining up everywhere from 0 technique and nose to 5 technique. So providing some unique flexibility, and obviously Dave Toub can have some fun with him. Spags and Joe Cullen can have some fun with him. I mean, talk about a guy 6'8", 330. I love everything about it. And I actually posted he was one of my sleepers for this upcoming draft at day 3, and I think Adam Best of Airhead Addict actually said, I don't agree with it, but hey, he said that Zxavian reminds him of Chris Jones in a way. I don't see it, maybe like a double XL version, but I don't really see it other than the whole Mississippi thing. I don't really see it.
Yeah, other than that, that's
yeah.
He reminds me more of the dude from Kentucky last year.
Deion Walker.
Yeah.
He
reminds me more of Walker.
100%.
Walker was a lot more, at least the year before that, was more dominant than this guy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you reminds me more of Walker from last year, the non-dominant.
Yeah. The hurt Walker.
which was still good, but I mean they're probably going to go around the same range, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So I'll continue.
Hold on, there's some character concerns. So I'll start with the. I won't start with character concerns. I'll end with character concerns. But the reason why he'll be a day 3 guy. So leverage issues because of his extreme height, he often struggles with pad level, obviously naturally, allowing smaller linemen to kind of get under him, and then limited pass rush. I mean, not bad. I mean, pass rush grade of 62.6. I mean, PFF grades, it's not bad for a guy who's going to be your zero technique D tackle. But yeah, relies mostly on club swim or pure bull rush. But then the reason why he will be a day 3 guy is the character concerns aspect of it. I mean, these are 8 driving citations. But Harris has 2 notable off-field incidents, including arrests for a DUI in 2023 and domestic violence in 2024. That has, according to a bunch of draft experts, that has removed him entirely off of a lot of teams' boards. So, so that is Zxavian Harris. So what do you guys make of the whole package, the player as well as the character concerns aspect?
When I watch him on tape, man, he's just not as dominant, as big as he is. You expect him to be an absolute monster, and he doesn't show up all the time like that. That's it is with me. It seems like it's like, man, you're a huge guy. You should be killing folks. And at times it looks like he's just kind of indifferent. You know, he's going to dominate. Then the other time he's just there. And so I don't know, man. It's at least when I watched his tape, I wasn't really impressed by it at all. So I know he's a big body. He's using for a rotation piece. But what you gonna get? Who said he looked like Chris Jones? You said Adam Best said that? Remind him of Chris Jones?
Yeah, he said he got Chris Jones flashes from him.
Wow.
Yeah, flash. Quick flash.
Well, outside of just playing,
was he being funny?
He's being serious. He was being serious. Yeah, outside of him just playing in the state of Mississippi, different school, and being able to play D tackle and D end, he can do it. Doesn't mean he's good at it. Outside of that, man, I don't really see that.
Maybe he meant someone. Go ahead, JD.
No, so maybe he meant the flash where he didn't go get the tackle, finish the play.
I was gonna say maybe someone took a flash and he couldn't see that well, so when he was watching, he was like, "Is that Chris Jones?" Like, yeah. I mean,
he's shoot. I expected more out of him. I'm gonna put it this way. I did. I expected more from the film out of this guy. So he's a big dude. He's a big guy.
Yeah, I think he definitely has a little more than Deion Walker as far as the not being as dominant in the last season as he should have been. That was always a question with him. Doesn't have the injury concerns that I think Walker had coming out with some of the stuff he was dealing with. But the high pad level, that's going to be hard when you expect that when you're 6'8", right?
Yeah.
6'7", 6'8". The problem with him and aside from the domestic charges, I'm not even talking about character concerns. It's the motor, man. It's the motor. That's why you say you didn't see it all the time, because he doesn't bring it all the time. When your motor runs hot and cold, when you're that big, it's going to be obvious. It's going to be really obvious when the big guy in the middle is not doing anything with it. So it just happens that way, man. So, I mean, that's why I was so impressed with McDonald, because McDonald's such a big guy, and a lot of those big dudes' motors run hot and cold. So when it doesn't, it's obvious. Like, oh, this guy just plays like this all the time. Okay, check. Whereas with him, it's like, oh, you see it sometimes, you see it other times. I mean, maybe that's what Best meant by flash. Maybe his best plays that he ever showed in college looked like something Chris Jones would have done, which, I mean, that's not that crazy to say that. Problem is, what percentage of his plays does he do that? So that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, yeah, you can look at Chris Jones, 5% of your highlight reel. The other 95 looks like a guy who's out of the league after 2 years. And what is it? we're not keeping you on for the 5% Chris Jones plays, right? We're keeping you on for what you do the majority of your time here. I think he's going to probably last longer, even though, look, it's weird. He's got a weird range to him, right? It's probably because most teams are just taking him off the board for the domestic violence charge. And if you're not taking him off the board for that, then you can sell yourself on taking him higher because you think you can get in this untapped Chris Jones like player at this size, right? You're always thinking as a team to be like, can we get that out of him the majority of snaps? If we think we can, then yeah, 5th round, 4th round. I mean, yeah, if that's what you think you can get out of him.
I see him as a UDFA guy or 7th round, like 7th round UDFA, I think.
I look at it like this, man. Okay. You know that people are watching you on film. You're coming in the draft. And if you're not giving them full effort to try to help your stock after on the football field, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Your senior year, you know you're supposed to dominate. And what sometimes I used to seem like he would play on the other line of scrimmage. He'd go down the line of scrimmage, try to make the play. And I'm like, man, how come you're not playing in the backfield? Just penetration. It was almost like he got lazy at the line and like, I'm going to take the B line and to go down and meet the ball carrier. Like, that's just no good, man, being 6'8", 330. You got to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, buddy. That's just how it is. Shoot. I guess I just left me wanting to see more. Just wanted to see. He just didn't do that. So
yeah, he's one of those guys with that size and frame. Like you're hoping that everything can kind of come together with him because he's like 6'8", 330, and he can play all positions on the D line. Like hopefully coaching can get something out of him. But yeah, there is baggage there. With the character concerns that he's bringing, as well as the not having that motor every play.
PFF has him as the 120th on their big board.
Wow.
Jeez.
So again, but if he's taken off a bunch of boards because of what he's done and his concerns with him, then maybe other teams think, oh, we can get him later because only half the teams in this in this league are even going to consider him. So you can get him later. So he's going to be one of those volatile guys. You probably go in the 4th round. And you might go in the 7th round if just enough teams couldn't find a place for him. Because just because a team's keeping him on their board doesn't mean A, they're going to take him earlier, or B, doesn't mean they have a spot for him, right? They might already have good DT depth.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean just because he's not off your board doesn't mean he's guaranteed to be taken, right? So I would personally, even though he's ranked higher than him, I'm a bigger James Thompson Jr. fan. That's a similar type guy too, right? I saw more Chris Jones and James Thompson than I did in this guy, to be honest with you.
James Thompson, who did he play for?
The Illinois guy.
Okay.
6'5", like 315, something like that. But those are the kind of guys in that range you're looking that are going to be around there, I think.
Yeah.
I
can't see him being a day 2 guy or even early day 3. I just think there's too much there, and like the backlash you're going to get from fans, like a franchise. And I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm not condoning what he did. Obviously, I think it's horrible. I mean, if these charges are all true, but like no franchise is going to draft him. You'll hide this. You'll hide it by making it a UDFA signing, so people don't really know much about the UDFA signing. And then you kind of deal with the backlash after the fact. But drafting him, I think too many teams are not going to. That's why I take him off the boards. The optics of it just don't really mesh well with the how that's going to be perceived by the fan base.
And it's a risk worth it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Right. Little Saddle just said it right there. He's just not good enough to overlook his character.
Yeah.
Facts. That's a fact.
Yeah.
All right, so Tasia sent me a best of the rest list. So Tasia's going to quickly go over this real fast, and we'll get out of here. CJD, Tasia just want to let it go. He doesn't want draft season to end.
Oh,
dude,
geez.
I mean,
all these people, are you?
I wish I knew how to quit you. I'm not doing a full load. There's some guys I just wanted to mention before we get out of here for just different reasons. I'll go over real fast. It's the ninth pick, JD. It was the ninth pick. The ninth pick added about 12 prospects that we usually would never talk about. Okay. Anyway, I'll go real fast. So Katron Allen, I feel like I should have mentioned him during this whole segment. I personally think we need a young back, a big back. I don't want to get Walker dinged up with between the tackle carries on a 3rd and 2 or, short yardage. I don't want to get Walker dinged up there. We have Walker for the big playability. You want to give him 250 touches, that's fine, but not all of those should be tough yards of running between the tackles for 3 yards. I want a guy who can get 2 to 6. That's this guy. His nickname is Fat Man. They leaned into him during the season. Scheme versatile, gap man, short yardage, does not fumble, 86% fumble rate. O-line, J.C. Davis. You and I talked about it recently, JD. So big, long arms, nasty downhill, mediocre quickness, gets beat off the outside shoulder a lot. Hand technique needs to be kind of coached into him, kind of needs to protect his chest. It was interesting, the biggest complaint was the way he lines up with his elbows out, he kind of just stays in that position, JD. As a blocker, what do you think about that? How hard is that to coach that out of somebody? Like his elbows are kind of flared out and he's kind of like this. So he kind of braces for impact and he doesn't have like the strong push because his elbows are already flailed down. His arms are like this out of his stance.
Yeah. You gotta coach him up. I mean, that's true. First and foremost, because your punch you're not gonna have any power behind it. So it's concerning. It's something you just kind of work on it, which is kind of crazy because it seemed like you did that in college.
I know.
Try to, correct it, but
I know. But development of tackle, 4th, 5th round. I mean, that's the kind of guy you're not bringing here to start day one anyway. You're going to work with them. You're going to try to get him up to speed. A mauler, really physical type too. So for them to do that's weird. Bud Clark, safety, 24 years old, or else he'd probably be going in like the 2nd round, 3rd and 4th round, really well-rounded. I wanted to mention him because he does a lot of things we like. We like versatile safeties. He played 319 snaps at free safety, 707 in the box, 559 the slot. I mean, he played everywhere. Complete ball hawk, tore up the Senior Bowl. I think he'd be a good guy to get, especially if we don't get Downs, which, I mean, I'm not saying we hope we don't get him. I hope we go Bain. I still think there's a need for a safety, especially a do-it-all type safety. Lou Moore, similar, going really late. People have him as like a 6th or 7th rounder. He's an older prospect too. He's 25. Played a safety and receiver in high school. Played Navarro College for 2 years as a receiver. Transferred to Indiana, switched to safety. Transferred to Ole Miss. Transferred back to Indiana for the last season. Crazy. But just really, film is like boring with him because he finds a way to make the right play at all times. Really good depth piece, just really late in the draft. He's not going to be our standout starting safety, but a guy who's just a really solid fill-in when you need him to be. I know we talked about cornerbacks. There are so many guys in this friggin' draft, all depending on the flavor you want. I love that you brought up Rivers because Pawns really reminds me of that, right? Like Pawns is the smaller, built like a slot corner who's so good on the outside. I don't care about his height. That's what we talked about earlier. Just a guy who's a football player. You look at him, you're like, he's going to be a good football player. He's going to be starting for your team. He's going to be an integral part of your defensive back. Will it be a slot? Will it be on the outside? Will he have to go back inside? I don't know. There's clips against him. He didn't play him all game, but he lined up against Denzel Boston, who's about 6 inches taller than him. And Denzel Boston couldn't do anything. When you can do that against a guy who's 6 inches taller than you on the outside, you have no fear. You don't care who's in front of you. Treydon Stukes, totally different kind of guy, but he's also a do-it-all type player. Nickel, safety, outside cornerback. He is 24, and he's a late bloomer, which is the reason why he's probably not like a late first-round player, else he probably would be. There's a couple guys like that, like this. Keontae Scott, similar to that. He could kind of play all over. Kilgore's another guy. You can't get Keontae Scott, but there's a bunch of guys I think that do-it-all guys I think we could take. Jaden Kennedy, another slot guy, late round because he's really undersized, but damn good. Heavy on man, 2nd lowest catch rate in the Big Ten, smooth drills of the combine, 4th lowest passer rate allowed. For reference, only 3 guys above him allowed a lower pass rate. You're going to hear these names. You're going to sound familiar. Chris Johnson, Mansour Delane, Traydon Stukes. Only guy that had a lower catch rate than him, right? He's supposed to go in the 6th, 7th round. So you're talking about taking away. Let's take a stroll and let's sit on slot corner. Take one in the 7th round. It could be possibly your starting slot cornerback. Other guys like Neal, Payne, Fuller, Demings, a lot of really good press man corners in here. I'm glad we hit it up, but there's a lot of guys in here that we can easily take to play press man for us. Very physical, tough cornerbacks. And linebackers, man. Again, this class is so deep. I love so many of these guys. Golden, Rodriguez. I just don't think we're going to invest that highly into a linebacker. I know we've done it before in the past. We've done it a few times. I just don't think we are. I think this class is so deep. You have a guy like Jefferson who's going to be out there. And I love Torian York. I think I mentioned him all the way back to the linebacker positional breakdown we did. 20 years old, 5'10", 230, probably day 3 because of his size. But he's another one of those guys that I'll take the discount because of his size if you get him in the day 3. The way he plays, the lack of length, but still low missed tackles. He's so cerebral out there. He knows the plays before they even happen. You want some of those guys like that on your team. I'm going to go lastly, Barham from Michigan. So a lot of people that love Arvell Reese's versatility, he's kind of like the poor man's Reese in this class. He was an off-ball linebacker converted to edge this year, really raw at it. But man, dude, he can blitz, cover, he can nail the run. He can do everything. He's another guy, I'd say, if you weren't going to do the Jefferson fill-in for Chenal, you want to go higher end of that, and possibly a guy who could maybe start at edge eventually. I'd say you could go him in like the 2nd or 3rd round, right? So his cool stat, at the FBS edge prospects since 2015 with a pressure rate, a quarter of a win rate in true pass sets, 27.5. Higher than 27.5 a win true pass sets, and a run stop rate of over 10%. Their best college season. Abdul Carter, Barham, and Michael Parsons. Only 3 guys that do that. So you have a guy who can kind of do it all. Just let him cage and go out there. So I'm the higher pick. So I kind of mixed in with some higher guys, some lower guys, but I just feel like there's so many guys in this draft, and we have 9 friggin' picks in it. So I just wanted to give some other guys a little love.
There you go. There you go. And with that, our prospect show is done.
Oh, Lord. Well done, Taste. No, actually, well done, man. You're getting all
Thanks, man.
Hey, Kaytron Allen wasn't on that list, so you added one to that chart.
Oh,
there.
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You slipped one past me, buddy.
You're very
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on.
You're very anti-running back. Maybe I didn't want to tell you that because you might be like, running back, no more running backs.
Well, Kareem.
I heard your love segment. I didn't want to get you all riled up by
That's different.
But even sniffing a running back in this draft.
Oh,
no, but seriously, I know people are like, no way, no running back. But dude, I don't want to overwork Walker. Walker's gotten dinged up a lot in his career. I don't want to wear him down on between a tackle 3rd and 1s. Okay, that's not what we brought him in here for. That's not what his job is here. That's not what we need.
Guys, though, somebody did, and Cal said the same thing, man. We should just bring Kareem back for it. It's simple. Simple.
Hundy Mercado will have it locked down if anything happens with Walker.
Easy.
You feel good about that, Hundy Mercado?
I feel good about DeMarcado being and Brashard too. They feel we have a pretty good running back room.
Yeah.
If you add in Hunt, that's a good running back room as far as short yardage, passing down guy, 3rd down back. I love that room.
You got to remember, man, they drafted Walker really high. They turn around and draft Charbonnet the very next year, the 2nd or 3rd round. So it's good to have an infusion of young talent at running back.
We got Bashar Smith. Bashar's here.
Yeah, but not for tough yards. Not for tough yards.
Kareem.
But look,
young. Said young back.
What we do offensively, okay? Bashard is going to fit right in what we do. We got to give him that much. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. I'm not for phasing him out. I just
I don't think we give him enough credit as we should, and try him as much as we should, and that's part of our problem because last year. We could have thrown him in and thrusted him in positions, and we just didn't. And we needed to give him some of that experience because we seen what he was able to do in college. We seen what he was able to do here. And more experience, man, it really does a fine job. He would do a fine job for us. And I just don't want people to forget him, man, at all. Shoot. I think he could be a stud.
I agree.
Crystal Lee, we appreciate that. Crystal Lee says, this is by far the absolute very best Chiefs Kingdom draft show every single season. I love and going to miss it. Well, don't worry. We'll be back next February or next March doing 6 weeks of this. So
let's hope it's February or March, not December, January, though.
yeah. We can delay that.
I don't like looking at mocks in December or January. Okay, so let's limit this to February and on.
Yeah, Tasia, the chat's realizing it, and I'm noticing. I wasn't going to say anything, but the chat's noticing it. Your anti-Kareem Hunt stance is carrying over to 2026. You're still against Kareem Hunt even being the best short yardage back in the league, which is proven statistically. And you'd rather draft some new guy.
Well, because he also had what did I say the other day to you and I think Lance, he's had 15 games of under 3.2 yards of carry in games. I mean,
but we only need for those 3 yards though.
That's it.
That's it.
This is special.
Not unless Walker gets hurt. No, you don't.
Then we got Bashard.
You don't.
Then we got Bashard.
You have a true committee after that. You have Bashard, you have DeMarcado, and you have Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. If they like a guy and he's a mauler in the draft, I'd say I'm okay with it taking him. That's all.
Yeah, like somebody said, man, we're not doing Detroit. We're not doing the whole, we ain't doing that. Okay, we pay this guy enough money to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. Okay?
I agree, but we're not a regular season team, JD. We're a Super Bowl contender, and the reason why Walker looked that good in the playoffs of Super Bowl is because they didn't overwork him last year. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been like that.
Did DeMarcado, and we got Brashard Smith, and hopefully Kareem Hunt. That's all we need. That's it.
Yeah. And also for everyone in the chat, we don't have Hunt yet. Everyone's just under this automatic assumption that Hunt's going to be with us when it's game time. Until he is, it's a need to have another guy back there. If we had Hunt right now, I wouldn't even mention Allen's name, but we don't. It's just we don't.
I have a suspicion that you probably would still.
Yeah, we'll get him.
No, not anymore. Not that point. But I want a young, cost-controlled running back with some juice. For 4 years.
It's my
ages. But we don't know Kaytron Allen's going to be like. I mean, we know what Kareem Hunt is. He's a commodity of a short yardage back. We don't know what Kaytron Allen would be in the NFL. We just don't.
One of the toughest third down backs.
No, we don't know what anyone's going to be in this draft though. So I guess let's just trade all our picks then.
Yeah, you're right.
And we don't know about any of them. We don't know if Bain's going to be good. Let's just trade out of that pick.
Well, obviously, you're talking about drafting a guy for a niche role, which you already have that niche role in Kareem Hunt.
We don't have it, though.
Okay. Yeah. When the draft's over, when they don't draft a running back, they will still find him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, but bringing back Hunt's a contingent on not drafting a Kaytron Allen type, you mean?
No, I just think they're going to draft him once they need to final, because the roster's not final. They need to fill out some holes and then figure out what his contract's going to be. If he's going to be a practice squad guy, to bring him on initially as a practice squad guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying we don't have him right now. It's not like I'm saying draft Kaytron Allen on top of Hunt. That'd be ridiculous. It's not the case. We don't have that filled. We don't have that role filled currently today.
But we may get
somebody we don't have
as an undrafted free agent. You might get a guy like that too. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot to the season. We're fine. We're gonna be fine. Running backs is one of those things that you can get. Okay, we will be fine there.
My guy last year, JD, was Manungai, and if we would have drafted him, he'd be a perfect complement to Kenneth Walker this year. And that was a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're tapped out on Rutgers running backs, though.
I don't blame them. So again, we already have one in the building. We're good. Thank you. Thanks for coming, though. Hope it works out for you.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for us on this final prospect show of the draft season. Like we said, it's going to be a very busy week for us. Wednesday night mock draft show. So, guys, send me your mock drafts that you want me to put on air on Wednesday. But Wednesday night will be a full Chief Concerns mock draft show. We will share the screen with you guys, and we'll dive in to see who's there at 9, 29, and all that stuff. And we'll do that on the show. But we want to feature your mock drafts as well. So send me your mock drafts on Twitter. DM me or just mention me and post a picture. So let's do it. JD, close us out, brother.
Hey, man. Hey, thank God it is over. Thank God it is over. No more long nights doing this. But I want to say, hey, look, amazing job. Dash Brothers, Tage, and Marcus, amazing job. Thanks, everybody, for staying with us during this entire process. It is going to be a thrill, we know, on Thursday. So Wednesday, come out here, like Marcus said, man, go ahead and throw us your mock drafts, okay? Give y'all a little bit of love. Put a little shine light on y'all. But with that being said, appreciate it. Listen, y'all have a wonderful night. Y'all been beautiful. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. Love each other the way you're supposed to. We will see you on Wednesday night over here. Same bad time, same bad channel. And we're going to get this thing popping before Thursday night, man. But there it is, the stream schedule. That's what it's going to look like. All right. We will see y'all then. All right. Marcus, Tage, man. Love you, brothers. I will see y'all later. Okay.
Love you, brother.
Love you, man.
All right.
See you, fellas. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Night.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.